Hashem Shai, by Hashem and Pakadash.
Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. All right, we out here once again. Through the Spirit, we're just gonna go right into it, and we're gonna start off with what's that first thing? All right, we're gonna start off with First Timothy. Going into avoiding, the vain babblings and so on and so forth. Because what's that? Isaiah 8 and 20, and also Isaiah 34 and 16. All right, because the Lord has given us everything that we need. The scriptures talk about how He has measured it by line. Meaning when you go to the different various books in the scriptures, you have different prophets that had different portions. Like today, for example, you have certain brothers that can do, 2 videos a day or 1 video a day, and constantly be putting up videos throughout the whole week. And then you have other brothers that may do 2 or 3 videos a week, and some maybe less, but it's all according to line. Because now we're not writing books. We have the internet, we have the video epistles, but in the ancient world they didn't have that, so they had it written. So you had certain men, like the book of Obadiah is one chapter, but it's a powerful chapter. So it's all according to line. But even in today's day and age, it's the same thing. And everybody has been given a different portion, but Yahweh Hashem Yahushua still requires you to go and flip his money. Like the parable the Lord gave about the talents. It mentions that you had different people that had different amounts, but they were still required, according to the amount they were given, to flip it and bring the Lord back something that that is equivalent to whatever was given to them. All right. So, being that we have that blueprint, it's not as when we say we have 100% truth, really starting with the elders and apostles on down is dealing with the scriptures. Now there may be certain questions and certain topics that may not, that may be there, they may exist, the different books, the book of Jubilee, the Wars of the Lord and all these other books, the book of Enoch, the book of Jasher. But why is it that Yahweh Hashem Yahushua had some of these books preserved and then some of them not preserved? Because the ones that we need for salvation is the ones that we have. The scriptures say we know in part, we prophesy in part. But the part that we know 100% of it. That's what it means. All right? We know in part, but we know 100% in the part that we ought to know that's going to pertain to salvation. We can gain salvation through what we have now. We don't need the book of Yasher for us to gain salvation. We don't need, the book of Enoch to know what's in there for us to gain salvation. What the Lord has given us is sufficient for us to gain salvation, and that's the utmost importance right now.
There's a book of 1 John chapter 2, verse 20. But ye have an unction from the Holy One, and you know all things.
And that's exactly what that means, right? You have an unction from the Holy One, and you know all things. Now, that doesn't mean that, okay, somebody gonna come and ask you, what's the shoe size of Michael? You said you know all things, so you gotta know. We know all things that have been given unto us. We know all things that we ought to know. Okay? Like even dealing with the angel, when the angel was dealing with Ezra, he said what? Other question asked thou not? Because there was a certain amount that was said to be revealed onto him.
We don't even know the day that Yahushua is coming back. Right? We know he's coming, that's part of the knowledge, but we don't know exactly when he's coming back. Right? So if somebody was to come and say, oh, you guys say you know everything, all right, so tell me when the Lord is coming back. Well, the Lord said he doesn't even know when he's coming back. The only person who knows, the only one who knows is the Holy One himself, Allah himself. He's the only one who knows, and he gives that knowledge unto his servants, the prophets, Amos 3 and 7. So what we know is what the Lord has given for us to know. The rest we're going to get in the kingdom, man. All right?
That's right. That's right. So you can get your precept.
The book of Sirach, chapter 3, verse 21. Seek not out the things that are too hard for thee, neither search the things that are above thy strength.
Yeah, because there's a scripture that also says that as thou found honey, eat so much as is sufficient for thee, lest thou basically eat too much and throw it up. Right? So seek not the things that are too hard for thee. Certain things, the way the Lord has designed us and the level that we're on right now, even the basic things, right? Even the things that the Lord has given us now, not everybody can receive. But you want to receive things that are, that the Lord has said, look, right now, I haven't put that in the curriculum. Don't worry about that. But see, Jake won't even finish what's on their plate, and they want to see what's in the bowl, what's in the pot. You still got half a plate left, but you're looking inside the pot like you want more. So as it says, seek not out the things that are too hard for thee, because eventually you're going to end up messing yourself up. You have to go according to the foundation. You have to start with the milk and work your way up. There's simple topics in the scriptures that people don't even understand. The scriptures say, ever learning but never able to come to the truth. The MOTB. Some people still don't get that. I saw Pastor Hart did a video on the Sabbath. Some people still don't, and that's one of the most simple things. Basic. We know you go, and even the word month tells you. The book of Sirach, I believe the 41st or the 43rd chapter. I think it's 43. It tells you about the moon. The word month goes back to the word moon. Okay? So how do you tell time? Why did the Lord create the sun and the moon and the stars? Was it not to tell time? So where do you get Friday sundown to Saturday sundown? The word Friday is not in the Bible. The word Saturday is not in the Bible. You got it?
Yeah, I got that. Sirach chapter 43, verse 8. The month is called after her name. Sorry. Sirach chapter 43, verse 6. He made the moon also to serve in her season.
In her season. Go ahead.
For a declaration of times.
For a declaration of times. To tell time. So how do you tell time? By the moon. By the sun. Okay? These are for signs and for seasons. Because, hold on a second. If you're in a dungeon, right? If you're in a dungeon, in the ancient world they have those dungeons, but they got the little barred windows. So you can still look up and tell what the time is, or, in a general sense, based on the moon. If you ain't have a calendar, you've been in there for years, how you gonna know what time it is? You see, people are so simple, and when you ask them these basic questions, they get tripped up. So where in the Bible does it say is Friday sundown to Saturday sundown? If you can find that in the Bible, the 6th day, the 7th, the 6th, the 7th. Okay, but how do you know that the 6th day didn't start on a Wednesday?
Hey, even the months that we have, the way the world goes about it is even off, right? October is supposed to be what, the 10th month? Yeah, September, October. September is supposed to be the 7th month. October is supposed to be the 8th month. But yet you have, it's even its name. Oct, meaning going to 8, Sept, 7, and so on and so forth. November is supposed to be the 9th month. November going into, I believe, the Spanish, Nueve. You know what I'm saying? So even the months tell themselves. But yet Esau, that goes to show you, even saying we're in the year 2021 is even off, man. That's why they come up and say things like the earth is billions of years old. The earth is about 12, 13,000 years old, according to the scriptures, man. You can actually trace it back. I did a video on it, going back to a biblical timeline, and you could read it. You have BC, AD, and so on and so forth, man. So where the hell you get billions of years from? That's that science bullshit, man. And it's all done, Esau, again, all done to manipulate the elements and also manipulate the people's minds, because he knows that he doesn't have that much time. We're in the time where the Messiah, all right, many, many prophets of old talked about this very time, the coming of the Messiah. So for him, if he's able to manipulate the times, people are going to be thrown off balance. You're not going to be able to calculate what's happening. Okay, this is we're supposed to look out for these signs, man. So when you say 2021, it really is like it's really like a distortion of time, if you will. It's really a distortion of time, because really, if you really were to look at it, we're actually supposed to be like 2050, 2060, around there. You know what I'm saying? But they say, 2021, time is really ahead. We're really at the end of this age, closer than you actually think.
I just wanted to mention that they do the daylight saving time. Right. They manipulate time with that too, and it's been thousands of hours that's been taken away from time just to save them time. So the purpose of it was to, when people get up to go to work, they have a little bit more time in their day and they don't have to deal with the hustle and bustle. But that's man-made.
Yeah, because when you even deal with the names of the months, they go back to Roman Caesars. Octavian or Octavius, whatever his name is.
Augustus.
Yeah, Augustus, August. You have July, which goes back to Julius Caesar. You know, so all of these months, man, and you had the Julian calendar, then the Gregorian calendar. So they constantly change things up. You know, but you're gonna get that.
It's a book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 25. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High,
Which they're doing even till today.
and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and a dividing of time.
Which that was the period during slavery. Now, he shall think to change times and laws. Okay, and that's what he's done. There's a scripture that says the earth is out of course. You know, that they basically turn the...
Psalms 82 and 5.
That's it. You know?
It says that they know not, neither will they consider. All right, the whole earth is out of course.
There we
They
go.
walk on in darkness, the whole earth is out of course.
Yep. Right? They destroy the earth because they don't keep the land Sabbath. See, that's a law that we're supposed to keep. The law of Jubilee, the year of release. All of these are laws that we're supposed to keep. And they govern the society and help it to keep going. But they change that. They say, no, if you have more than one wife, oh, you can't do that. You know? Oh, if this, you know, this is the case, you can't do that. Instead, you do this. Instead, you do that. You know, you want to go according to the Sabbath? No, the calendar, the months, you know, because the first day of the month is when the new moon comes in. Now, that could be in the middle of October. You know, it could be in the middle of the calendar. So how do you tell? Because their time is saying, oh, it's on this day, but then according to the actual way you're supposed to tell time, it's on another day. You know, and this is this damn devil Esau.
Hey, that's why you have certain months have 29 days.
Yeah.
Like February has every leap year. Was it 4 years or so?
Yeah, I think
You know, and then you have certain months that have 31 days, certain months that have 30 days. You know what I'm saying? But that's all a construct that Esau created in order to have more control over the people. Because if we were to go according to the will of the Heavenly Father, then we're going to respect the Sabbath.
Yep.
Even the land Sabbath. Every 7 years, you're supposed to leave the land alone. You know? Like you said, like the year of release and so on and so forth. These are all things that's written in the scriptures to govern us. Because you have to understand the laws of the land and how you, the human, can interact with the laws of the land. How are you going to operate on this earth? The scriptures tell you how to do that. But Esau doesn't want that. He wants complete control, so he has to create his own parameters. No. If you go according to this way, how the Lord has said it, I'm not going to have power over you. So I'm going to change things, change the ways of life, change the orders of nature. That way I have power over you. What I tell you is what goes. You see, that's all part of control, man. You know, but through the spirit of power of Yahweh Shem Shai, through this word, everyone is waking up to the truth, man. You know, everyone is questioning everything now. Everything, because you have to. You know, everything they taught you in school, you got to question all these things, man. Going into a solar system, you know, and meanwhile the scriptures give you only one planet, Earth. You know, but yet you got, oh, Jupiter this, Mars this. These are all one gods.
Which there are other planets out there, but the scriptures don't give you, you know, the details as to, oh, this is called this and this is called that. So how the hell do they know all that?
Right.
They talk, you know, because the Esau tell you, they actually have diagrams where you look at it and you zoom out and you zoom out and you zoom out. You see that you could zoom out the solar system. You could zoom out the Milky Way galaxy. And hold on a second.
You never been there?
Thank you. So how the hell do you know what that looks? How do you know what the outside of the Earth looks like, for example, if you're on the Earth? So how do you know what the outside of the universe looks like if you're in the universe? You have to have gone out to see it, right? So these devils, you know, oh, you do this calculation and you do this and you do this, and they think they have such a high IQ. But when you actually break down what they're saying, you're like, hold on, that doesn't even make sense. You know, oh, the Earth is 1 million years old. Where's your proof of that? Oh, well, when you're radiocarbon dating and you go and you measure the carbon here and this, that, and the third, it's not valid, man. Okay? But anyway,
Yeah, I was going to add on to that even the solar system, like I mentioned earlier, that was all another sign of Esau going into that Satan worship shit. You know, at first we had before you had the geocentric, theory, and then they changed it, with Copernicus and all them dudes, they changed it into the heliocentric. all right, which is making the sun the universe, the center of the universe, which makes no sense. Because the sun is actually in our atmosphere, it's in our firmament, just like it tells you in the scriptures. You see, but for them to create that concept of worship, they have to make the sun the center and everything around it. So then they came up with all these names of planets. You see, but like the brother said, there are many planets out there, but the Lord doesn't give you the names of them. He only gives you one planet, Earth. But Esau, exactly, but Esau had to come up with that and say, oh, look, the sun is right here, and the Earth is rotating around it. And you have Mars and Venus and Mercury. And when you look at it, all of them go back to Roman gods, man. They all mean something, you know?
I wanted to mention, along with this point, my brother told me about this kid that went to a school to basically become like a part of, you know, whatever NASA does, which is, you know, explore outer space, so to speak. And he got to a certain level where his professor, you know, gives him a paper. He's like, for us to go to the next level of this class, you have to sign this. It was an NDA. You can't speak about what you learn the higher you, because if you want to become an astronaut, you have to sign an NDA. If you want to learn about outer space or whatever they're going to, you have to sign an NDA. Also, there was what do you call it, like classified documents, and the Russians, in like around the 50s, you know, that's what like Cold War-ish.
Yes.
They actually admitted in one of their papers that they have no idea how the Earth works. They have no idea the shape of the Earth. They have no idea. The only thing they know is that basically all of their aircrafts are based on a stationary model of Earth. That's the only thing they do. But they don't admit to anything else.
They come to the U.S. and they tell, oh, no, it's just like this. You see, we went up to the moon. You know, when we went up there, this is, oh shit, you said I like it. Yeah, that's it. That's how you do it. You know, they tell you, no. See, when you go up to the moon, you know, you hopping on, you know what I'm saying? You see the astronaut hopping on there, and you sitting there like, hold on, how do you broadcast that? You know, and since when? What satellites, radio towers are on Mars that you're using, or on the moon that you're using to broadcast all that live, right? And then, whoa! Come to find out, we were actually on Mars too. We got the rovers, and it's the same clip that they loop over like 30 seconds over and over and over again. You know this? Look at this. You know he's you know, so it's the same clip. And you got the little rover going on the same area, and Jake sits there and watches. Oh shit! Oh, that's deep. You know, wow. I wanna, you know. But that's because this devil, he just, like it says, he wants to be like he's the Most High. Okay? He wants to. I have accomplished all these great feats, and all of them are really just pseudo feats. Everything he does, he's like a Bizarro to Superman. You know, he's like that abomination to the Hulk. You know? Because they're trying to achieve that level, but you're a man, and the Most High is going to show you that you're just a man. All right?
The brother Virgin Island Straight Gate, Revelation 20:7. And when 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth.
And this is why a lot of these so-called Christians don't understand the Bible, because when they read this, if they read it, they actually imagine a spiritual demon saying he got shackled up, he's locked up in prison somewhere, you know what I'm saying? And then after 1,000 years, he just magically broke out the chains. It's 1,000 years, you know? He just went around, he looked at everybody he could find, because it says that he's walking about like a roaring lion, right? You know, yeah, grabbing up people and shit, deceiving people.
We used to believe that when we were so-called Christians.
Yeah, you know that he's going around now. Where in history have you seen spiritual demons saying, deceiving people? He opens up the book. Hold on, his tail is wagging up and shit, right? Actually, this is what this meant. You know, when you go into the history, the Lord was actually a so-called white man. Say it with me, white man. His name was Jesus. Where in the hell did spiritual demons say and do that? There's no account of that. Now, who actually did that? That was Esau Edom, Job 9:24. And the evidence is all around us, man. You know? So these so-called Christians, that shows you that they don't, you know what I'm saying? They don't use their brain because it doesn't really work. That 1,000 years is talking about the time during the so-called Dark Ages or the Byzantine Empire. All right? And after that 1,000 years was fulfilled, that Satan is talking about Esau Edom. Okay? Because the word Satan means adversary. And Esau is the adversary of the Most High and of the Israelites. And he came up into power again because the Most High took that seal off of him, you know, through the Spanish and then the other European powers, and they went about to deceive the world. Renaissance, that's right, Renaissance art, Renaissance lies, Renaissance letters.
That's how they got to cover the faces of the judges thereof. You know, through the Renaissance art, literally. You know?
Yeah. This is Second Thessalonians chapter 8. Yeah, Second Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 8. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with his. Oh, good. Yeah. That's good. And then shall that wicked be revealed.
Go ahead. Just lift up your voice a bit.
And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming.
And who is the spirit of the Lord's mouth? Ultimately, the spirit of the Lord's mouth is the prophets. All right? So what we're doing is we're giving out the warning, the sentence, and then ultimately what's happening? The prophecies are being fulfilled. And when the Lord comes back, he's going to destroy this devil with the brightness of his coming. That's what Yahweh Shai is going to do.
I want to make a point right here. Listen to this in verse 9. It says, even him whose coming is after the working of sin. Now, when it says even him, there's a comma point there. So it's talking about somebody before it talks about sin. So you know it's talking about two individuals. Satan and him. Who's the him? Esau Edom. Who's working at is after the coming of sin. I believe when you go to one of the words it says the energy, which is Esau gets his energy, his power comes from Satan.
They're the children of the devil, the sons of the wicked. You know, so who's their father? Satan. All right, that's why ultimately they worship the devil. Now, these devils actually tell you in their plans that when they get that one world order, they're going to come out and say Lucifer is the new god that everybody got to worship. Ultimately, that's what it's leading to. So they play the angle, they play here, they play there, and all that. They call themselves Jewish and all that. It ain't about the real scriptures, no. It's flipped. Everything for them, they got it flipped. They got a brotherhood, but it's flipped on the left-hand side. You know, that's where you go into the dark secrets of the Talmud and so on and so forth. You know? But let's go back to where we were in Sirach, the 43rd chapter. All right, going back to the moon, because like you mentioned, that is to tell time. All right? And that's why the Most High created it. It's as simple as that. You talk about Easter Sunday, right? Good Friday. Where in the scripture did it say that the Lord was crucified on a Friday? And he rose on a Sunday? You know? Man, but people eat it up, man.
I'll start again. Sirach chapter 43, verse 6. He made the moon also to serve in her season for a declaration of time and a sign of the world. From the moon is the lights. From the moon is the sign of feast, a light that decreaseth in her perfection.
Right, because it says two things there, right? It's a sign of what? Feast. Because when you read in the scriptures, it'll tell you in the 7th month on the 15th day, right? Or in the 3rd month or the 1st month on the 14th day at even. Or this. Well, how would you tell when the month comes in? Based on the new moon, right? And then you will count from there. The next time the new moon, you look up, you can't see the moon, that's a new moon. And you come from there, you can count. That's why the scriptures worded in this month, right? On this day. So when the new moon comes in, you count day after day after day. And then the next part says, what, a light in her perfection?
Yeah, it says a light that decreaseth in her perfection.
A light that decreaseth in her perfection. Because the scriptures tell you the Lord put the greater light and the lesser light, right? One to rule the day and one to rule the night. So you got people saying that the moon doesn't really have a light and that, you know, it's really the reflection of the sun and all this madness and shit. As if the moon is like a big ass mirror, you know? The moon has its own light. And even on a very dark, foggy day, you can see the aura of the moon in the clouds.
you got even on the islands, you know, there's different parts where they have no light in the villages and so on and so forth. You know, and then the moon used to be the light of the night.
Yep.
You know, whenever there was a full moon, you know, all the children would gather underneath, you know, a big tree or whatever. You know, in the compound, you know, you had communities, you know, and then children all come around and you have the old heads, as they call it, and they'll be like grandpa or whatever, and they'll sit there and you have all the children come around and they'll be telling them biblical stories, man. You know, going into the scriptures, giving them the history of what happened to our forefathers in ancient Egypt. You know, and going into it, and the children understood these things, man. You know, it was like a big thing. Like they all come sit there and they all listen, you know, praise the Most High and so on and so forth, man. But what it says, it decreases what in her perfection. All right, it means what? The perfection is when you have a full moon. All right, something is made perfect. It means it's whole. Right. So then it decreases over the what? Every 2 weeks, you have the first 2 weeks. It starts to build up. You start seeing it bigger and bigger and bigger from a new moon to a full moon. And then the 2 weeks after that, you have the different phases of the moon. And then as it gets smaller and smaller and smaller, there's less and less light. You know what I'm saying? And then you have another new moon. Okay? So like the brother said, we're telling time based on the moon. You know, and then of course you have the sun. You know what I'm saying? But it's all done in its perfection because you can actually tell the time based on that.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah, see the heavens, man, the firmament, you know, is very special. But right now we don't have the full understanding of it. You know, so, because when we go into the scriptures, even the zodiacs and all of that, they're written up in the scriptures. You know? But right now, we can't, you know, because the scriptures tell you that Issachar was able to look up in the heavens and tell what's going to happen. You know, tell time and the future and all that stuff. And now today they take it, and then they take the left-hand side of it, and then they say, oh, no, it really is this and it's that, and people get up into it, you know? Now they can tap into certain things on the left-hand side, but they don't have the perfection of how it's really supposed to be used. Okay, and we're gonna get all that back in the kingdom. So right now, dealing back with the things that we ought to know, what are we supposed to do? We're supposed to perfect ourselves, right? The scriptures say the Lord gave us some apostles, some teachers, some prophets for what? The perfecting of the saints. So how are you gonna make the saints perfect? Is the perfection not 100%? You know, so how are you gonna make them perfect? Now let's go to the book of Isaiah 34 and 16.
Right, the perfection has to come from something. You know, it has to come from an origin because you got people who go around and they say, oh, why does this matter? It matters for truth's sake because you lie.
Oh, actually,
You gotta bring out the truth. You know, you got people that say, oh, why does the color of the Lord matter? Because it matters, bro. Like that's the image of the Most High matters.
why does your image matter?
Right. So it didn't matter. Why would you change it if it didn't matter? You should have left it at that. But you had a time where you had Edomites who came into power, which we talked about it, the Renaissance. You had something known as iconoclasm. Okay? These are all things these devils did.
Yep.
They actually spend millions and billions of dollars to indoctrinate people from the truth. Why? Because it matters.
Yep.
You see? So you can't say, oh, well, you know, why does it matter? Why are you going to talk about all these? Why does it matter? It does matter, man. You know, it does matter, man. It matters enough for these devils to do something about it. So it matters for us to what? Uncover those wrong things that they put on the earth, man.
Right.
You know?
Right. Oh, that's a beautiful point. See now, if imagine if you standing there, right? And let's say, you know, your friend is trying to refer you to a job or somewhere, and your friend goes to the manager and says, oh, you know, my friend that I was telling you about, Bob, you know, I brought him, and you know, and so the boss asks and says, oh, well, where is he? You know, which one is he? What does he look like? Oh, that doesn't matter. Don't worry about that. How you gonna feel standing there? You know? Oh, it doesn't matter. That's disrespectful. You know, if it came to you, it matters, like we just mentioned. But when it comes to the Lord, it doesn't matter. How does that make sense? You know, what your creator looks like doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, but they use it to, you know, create self-hate within our people. They use it to oppress our people. So it matters that much. If it doesn't matter, how come it has so much power and such a hold on our people? If it doesn't matter, why do you get so upset when we come and tell you the truth about it? It doesn't matter, right? You know, when we say the Lord is a so-called dark-skinned man or so-called black man and so on and so, oh, that's black supremacy. Wait, but it doesn't matter. You know, or you gonna go into slavery for what you did to the Israelites. Oh, you can't say that. That's hate. Well, it doesn't matter. You know, oh, that's anti-Semitic. No, it doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. You know, these damn devils, they like to say something, and when we use it back on them, it's a problem. But it doesn't matter.
That's what makes him the devil.
Exactly, because it doesn't matter. See, when you suffer, it doesn't matter. When they suffer, then that's the most important thing in the world. Because when they went and bombed these other countries, it was okay. When something little happens to them, it's a big issue. It's a global problem. 2 buildings go down and the whole world knows about it. But they bombed 2 whole cities. Oh no, that's okay. That's a part of, you know, that's the regular. That's all in a day's work, because the devil is ruling. So yeah, let's finish off in Sirach and then the other one.
Sirach chapter 48, chapter 43, verse 8. The month is called after her name.
There you go. Sirach 43, Ecclesiastes 43, verse 8. It tells you blatantly right there that the month is called after her name, after the moon. See, there's like, I think it's like one more verse.
Yeah. The month is called after her name, increasing wonderfully in her changing, being an instrument of the armies above, shining in the firmament of heaven.
There you go, shining. So if something doesn't have light, how does it shine? You know, it doesn't make, but you know why? That's why they don't deal with the Bible, and that's why we ought to stay with the Bible, because when they come up, and you notice they'll try to draw you to a carnal argument. You know, they'll try to draw you. No. Remember that dude came on one time and said, no, I don't want to hear what it says. I don't know what you think. It ain't about what we think, because if you get into it, and that's why we had that precept of Timothy, if you get into what you think or what I think, we're going to be here forever.
That's subjective. The truth is objective, but your personal thoughts is subjective. It's Jeremiah 17:9. The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it?
There you go. So the heart, meaning, because when you go into the Hebrew word there for heart, it's lav, which means your mind. And you hear that it says it's desperately wicked. So now see, when you read these scriptures, you got to actually break down the words and then put the picture to it. What does desperation look like? When somebody's desperate, like if a woman is desperate, she's going to do anything to get whatever it is that she's desperate for. So the heart is desperately wicked, meaning it's going to look for any opportunity to do wickedness. So if the heart is desperately wicked, who can know it? Why would you follow your... That's why the scriptures say there is a way that seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof is death. Because what comes with wickedness? Death.
Got another quick one. Sirach 3:24. For many are deceived by their own vain opinion, and the evil suspicion have overthrown their judgment.
There you go. Many are deceived by their own vain opinion. That's why we don't judge according to what we think. The scriptures tell us how we are to judge, how we are to move, how we are to, let your yeas be yeas and your nays be nays, and what they're supposed to be based on. You need a foundation to be based on. In the world you have things they call dilemmas. We don't have dilemmas because we follow what the book says. Some people say, well, like abortion, for example, right? Well, I mean, if she got raped and then she wanted, the baby, it's a dilemma it's not a dilemma. What does the scripture say? Then that's how you solve it.
Leviticus 19:15. You shall do no unrighteousness in judgment. Thou shalt not respect the persons of the poor, nor honor the person of the mighty, but in righteousness shalt thou judge thy neighbor.
So guess what? You got people like the brother just mentioned about abortion. You got people who talk about sodomy, adultery, and all these different things. You got to judge according to the scriptures, man. Apostle Hart did a video a couple of days back when I was watching it, and it was IUIC out there in Ghana, and they were going back and forth with this lady, right? And they were making it clear, like, yo, sodomy is off according to the scriptures. You know what she said? She goes like, well, but it's accepted. It's accepted in society. Hey, listen. You can say something is accepted, but then what is it? Is it right or is it wrong? Because look, you gotta go back to some original. We all come from some origin. All right, you got people who say, oh, I don't believe in God. I don't believe in this. Where the fuck did you come from, nigga? Everybody comes from an origin, like a source. Right. So in order to know where you're going, you gotta know where you're coming from, man. Right. So if you say, oh, there is no God, I just do whatever, nigga, you're gonna end up eating missiles. You gotta go back to the source. And when you trace it back to the source, you find out, oh, there is a creator. All this madness, people, it's accepted. Well, okay, let's say this. There's a truth. which is the laws, right? It's right here. And the Heavenly Father says, if you break this law, or if you do something that's not true, there's a penalty. Now, over the generations, it comes to the point where that penalty isn't being, handed out speedily, like the scripture says. So then people start thinking, oh, well, it's accepted to do these things, even though it's breaking the law, it's accepted to break the law. Well, then we're coming out and we're telling you, guess what? You breaking the law, there's still consequences for that, because that law still stands. Now, you'll be justified if the Most High said, no more, I'm done away with this law, it doesn't matter no more. But he never did that. So that means that law still stands till today, no matter if you accept it or not. That law still governs the land. You have something known as maritime laws, which are the laws that govern the water, and then you have the laws of the land. Now, every land you go into, you might go into Russia. Russia has their own laws. You come to America, America has their own laws. Yeah, they're abominable, but they're still the laws of the land, right? Ultimately, you're a human being. You have the laws of the land, and then you have the laws that govern the human as a person. Those laws you can find in the scriptures. Did you know there's something known as the Noahide laws, and then you have the Mosaic laws? The Noahide laws applies to all human. Goes back to the time of Noah, because Noah had 3 sons. How the hell did they govern themselves? Because if you go to all these different lands, they all have certain customs that relates to everybody else. Every land you go to, it's wrong to commit murder, right? If you commit murder, there's a punishment for that.
Even adultery.
Even adultery.
Like Pharaoh.
Exactly. Exactly. They weren't Israelites, but when Abraham was passing with Sarah, he said, "Oh shit! Like yo, you caused me to go off. I almost died." So those laws apply, even though they're not Israelites, because those are known as the Noahide laws. I believe there's 7 of them. All right? And then it's not until the Lord separated us and made us a nation, then he gave us the Mosaic laws that governs Israel as a nation. But everybody else applies to the Noahide laws, man.
But ultimately, when the kingdom set up, the Mosaic laws was going to govern the whole world. It was going to be interchangeable with the Noahide laws. Exactly. When it's all said and done.
Exactly. So it's going to be universal. So all these lands, all these nations, all this shit that they do, guess what? They're going to come right back to this book. So you might as well just go back to it now. You might as well just start following the scriptures now, because that's the true law of the land. All humanity goes back to that book. Why? Because you're all created by the Most High. Whether you want to believe it or not, we don't give a fuck. All right? Guess what? The missiles going to rain down here in America. America going to be destroyed. Whether you want to hear it or not, we don't really care about that. We got to give you the warning. You see, that's the point. You got to get warned. We're not here to give you, feel-good stories. Look what's going on around the world. You're being deceived. You're being put into a coma, a comatose. All right? Look at the world right now. Wickedness are at all-time high. And you mean to say there is no God? What the hell's wrong with you people, man? That's why the judgment that's coming, if you didn't hear the thunders and the lightning that just passed, the judgment that's coming, especially here to America, you people have no idea, man. They're already building concentration camps around the world. These devils coming out talking all desperate. When you have a devil in a desperate state, what do? They become very draconian, man. All right? And that's what the world is about to start seeing soon. And we're just giving you the warning. This is just the tip of the iceberg. You people think you're free? Wait till Esau locks shit down. And whether you Vanessa or not, you're still going to be affected, because it's not about Vanessa or not. It's about depopulation, man. That means a killing. All right? Revelation, the 6th chapter, the red horse, that's all Esau about to do, man. They're about to start going ham on you people, man. Just watch. All right? So now I can't
First we had a precept.
That's their first, one of the Georgia Guidestones, that's their first so-called commandment, is to depopulate the earth. And we had actually went down there checking the brother Mahar out to see the Georgia Guidestones. And that whole area, you just feel a demonic vibe from that whole presence of that area. But one of the first things they say is depopulate the earth, knock it down from like 6.5 billion people to 500 million. So and when you really check things out, it's all these gender wars, right? Giving women all this power to destroy men. That's depopulation. Giving men this MGTOW shit and the red pill thing that's out. Because that's them funding both sides to cause what? Clashes between both genders to where they don't even want to breed with each other. And that's why the people say now, I don't want to get married. It's not wise to get married. I don't want children. That's population control. Condoms, population control. Diseases, STDs, population control. A lot of these things, erectile dysfunction, all this shit that a lot of things that this world revolves around. Oh, feminism, telling women to put off being a mother and go focus on their careers. That's eating up their fertility years. Because what, a woman is 30 from 14, that's when she hit high school, right? To all the way to 28, 30. It tells you that on Google at the age 30, over 80% of a woman's eggs is gone at the age of 30. Hit that on Google right quick. It clearly tell you. So what they tell them what? You can put off motherhood. You can put off being a wife and focus on your career. But by the time their career is up, or when they in their career, all of their eggs is gone. That's the devil playing mind. All of that shit is population control when you really look at it. OnlyFans and all this shit, all that shit goes back. Abortions, all this is going back to population control. But this devil gonna find out that all of these booby traps he set to depopulate the earth is not doing it at a fast enough rate, and that's when he gonna bring that sword down. Because he was like, yeah, we put all this shit out, but they still like breeding up, especially Israel, especially amongst the northern tribes, you know, they still like breeding up. But
It says the study published by the University of St. Andrews and Edinburgh University in Scotland found that women have lost 90% of their eggs by the time they are 30 years old.
so there you go. So, and that's Esau playing these chicks. Look, from 14, focus on your career. That's high school. School. Then you get out of school by what, 22, college? Under a bachelor's. But if you go back for a master's, say even when you finish school under 22, you'll play that point from 22, and you'll play the work field for like, let's say 10 years. Because you'll never get your career straight because you got student loans. So the people will say, at 22, I'm gonna just play my career for a few years and I'm gonna try to get married. I'm gonna focus on my career. But your career will never be fucking satisfied because Sally Mae is gonna be constantly drilling your ass. So now you hit like 30, 35, you looking for like a husband and to have kids. My ex-girl, 38 years old, talking about she looking for a man, a husband, to have kids. I'm like, how many kids you want? She like 4. I'm like, at 38 fucking years old, you fucking bugging. She kicked me out of the house and shit. But I ain't lived there. I was just going over there. But I was keeping it real with her. But I smashed already, so I ain't care. You know, but I'm like, yo, at 38 years old, you know what I'm saying? But that's all. But the main point is, I give it back to you, is population control. These devils pushing, that's their main thing to do to depopulate the earth. But that's the glory of Yahushua. Yahushua is going to come back and depopulate the earth. The meek shall inherit the earth. The elect, the 1/3, and the slaves that make it. That's who going, but they ain't going to inherit the glory. They're going to be slaves. But that's who going to inherit the earth, the start of the reset.
True reset.
Yeah, come.
Hey, and just to finish off what the elder asked for, it says, and only have about 3% remaining by the time they are 40. 3% of their eggs by the time they're 40.
And then you risk what? Even if some women do get pregnant at 40, but even if you do, you're going into high-risk pregnancy. Now you're risking autism, you're risking your baby coming out with some type of deformity, you're risking a miscarriage, and that's psychological damage, all of that. So even if you push out at that age, it's still even like considered unhealthy and not safe. And you can't, when you have a baby that old, you can't get your it's way harder to get your figure back. When you have when women have a baby like 19, 22, 23, 24, under 25, when women have baby, they normally could like easily go back into their original figure. But the later time you wait to have a baby, that baby weight gonna sit on you.
Yeah, birth control is another form of population control. Also because what it does to a woman's insides, by the time they get like, 5-10 years of taking that stuff, it creates cysts in their uterus and it makes them unable to give birth. And that happened to my aunt, so she can't give birth now, she's trying to have kids. She was taking birth control all these years, whatever these women do to their body. They're taking shots, they're taking pills, they're doing all kinds of stuff. And then by the time they want kids, they can't have them. And you're unhealthy. You smoke cigarettes, smoke this and that all day, and eat terrible. It's a wrap.
Called cyst in the uterus.
They get cysts in their uterus and it makes them unable to have children.
My cousin just died. She was only 40 years old. Like last month, she died because she tried to have another child. The child was gave birth. The child was delivered, but she died 6 months later. 42 years old.
Again, that's why we say the devil is the devil, man. These devils don't have any good intentions. That's why they come out and talk about these things that we can, eugenics and better Vanessas and all these different things, and it's going to promote the health. That's what Bill Gates says. He says we have the technology to promote health. Nigga, I'm like, wait, ain't your agenda to depopulate, nigga?
Right.
Where the fuck you come from talking about we want to help people live
Promote
longer?
health, yeah.
What are you talking about, bro? That right there, you know this nigga capping. But right here, there's an article that.
But guess what? In order to live longer, you gotta whack off the majority of people.
Yeah.
You know?
They have the Malthusian theory, you know, which I did a video on, you know, and through the spirit, I believe that's Bill Gates coming back. That's just me, you know, because he follows the same pattern. You know, depopulation, how to do it, eugenics, all that. I'm like this, and he looks just like him. It's just crazy. But
It's like your spirit takes the shape when it gets into the body.
Exactly, man. You know, the elder Tazo put this in the chat earlier today. It says Amazon's Bezos predicts only limited number of people will get to remain on Earth. Like, I think he was reading 2 Thessalonians 2. Bring that back real quick.
They so say
Right,
that?
but according to your house
There you go. You see, that's again, they want to be like the Most High because they know the prophecies, man. They want to be like the Most High. They want to create a world of their own. But then you have to have the spirit of Satan to live in their world. I mean, that's the direction in which the world is going in right now. You know, and if you, right now, as it's constituted, if you don't, you know, if you're not down with them, you don't get to be out there like that. They're not going to let you be out there, especially on the media.
Oh, what's that? Was it Austria or Australia? One of the health guys said, you don't. We're gonna make sure.
Oh, Australia.
You live a lonely and miserable life.
Australia. He said that. He said that. I watched it today. He said that.
What type of shit is that?
Damn.
What?
Said make sure.
You live a lonely and miserable life.
He said you have nowhere to hide. You know, you can't fake nothing. All the doctors are on board. You can't go to the doctor and be like, oh, fake this for me. Nope.
Yeah.
He said you're gonna be living a miserable life, and they got concentration camps for you. Last year, I believe one of the representatives in Congress for New York, he signed a bill. Remember, we were talking about it. He was talking about how people who are, you know, virus, you know, they got the virus.
They set up somebody who's gonna return in and
Right. And they'll come to houses, they're gonna come to your house because this time they're not playing. If you're listening, listen, you gotta listen to these devils and what they say. They're very desperate. Revelation 12 and 12 is we're at the door of the 13th chapter, man. From 12 you go to 13, right? You know, so we're at the door of that. So they're moving quickly. They gotta set up that beast and stuff because they know Yahushua is coming, man. You know, and like I said, we open up with the times, the seasons. They know that the time that we're in now is not really 2021 where you're thinking, oh, you know, Agenda 2030. Nigga, we're in like, if you really go into it, we're like 2050, 2060 around there, 2070 in real time, you know? But bring that back real quick, 2 Thessalonians real fast.
Yeah. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. Want me to just go to the point?
Yeah.
Verse 9.
No, 2 verse, start off at 2.
Oh, 2? All right. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 2. That ye be not soon shaken in mind, or be troubled, neither by spirit, nor by word, nor by letters, as from us, that the day of Yahushua is at hand.
Right. So we understand this. That's why we're not bugging out when they come out and talk about how their agenda and their plans to make the world better and so on. Who gave you the permission to do that?
Right.
None of us was sitting at the table with you deciding what we're gonna do or what direction to move humanity in. There's always these few people that think that they can make things for everybody else to live by, man. You know? And if you look at their population, they don't even make 1 million people. The global population, if you take those so-called elites, they make what? 0.001%. It's a very few number compared to the global population, but yet they want to make the laws for everybody to live by, man.
That's why you look at the all-seeing eye on the dollar. At the bottom is more bricks, but as it goes up, it get fewer and fewer and fewer and fewer bricks till you get to the tip of the triangle. Then you see the all-seeing eye showing you that it's very, very few people at the top that's a part of the elites. That whole triangle representative but you got like handlers and shit like that. But as you go up the ladder, it's very few people.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly. So go ahead.
Verse 3, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first.
Right, and the falling away first happened as a nation as a whole. Okay, when you go back in time, we actually knew who we were. When you read the scriptures, you be like, damn, those are the same people now? Yes. That's why it's so easy for these devils to deceive our people. But now the Lord is waking us up. We're coming back from that falling away. Because at one point we actually knew who we were. Okay, we understood the laws. We went back to the Heavenly Father. We knew Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. All right. We had somebody give me John the 8th chapter and start off at 30. You know, because Yahushua even had people back then who believed. All right. He says he says Jews that believed on him. All right, get that?
This is John chapter 8, verse 30. As he spake these words, many believed on him. Then said Yahushua to those Jews which believed on him, if ye continue in my word, then are ye my disciples indeed.
Right, so there was a falling away first. So at that time, you had Jews who were listening to Yahushua. They followed Yahushua. Yeah, you had Jews who persecuted him, but you had those who believed on him. And those same people are back here again today. So even during the time of 70 AD, all the way down through our history, through our slavery, where we didn't even know ourselves, all right, we still had those same people who are following Yahushua in this time. And he said, what? We are disciples of him indeed. So we're back here again. All right, we're back here again waiting on him to come pick us up. Now keep going on that.
Oh, real quick. Also in the book of Revelation, the 9th chapter, it tells you that even the men that were in the war, there were some of them who weren't touched, they weren't put to death. Roughly paraphrasing, because through their loins the elect would come.
Exactly. Hey, the elder even mentions it during the crack era. You know, a lot of men who are in this truth now were born during the 80s and 90s, man. Yeah. You know, and all those times they weren't affected. We're here again till today. You know.
Hey, so, I can honestly bear witness to that because my father was on all type of drugs when he was making me.
Yeah, but our mothers though, cause that not to give praise to the woman. See that crack shit hit my father, but my mother dodged a bullet, but she was pregnant. Not saying I'm the elect, but brothers is of the hopeful elect because we know the name when we in this truth and doing the fight. But when you check it out, it's just like, yo, you never got that shit swept by people. That's like letting off like 1,000 rounds to this direction, and like two brothers like, yo, I ain't getting hit, and it's just like bullet holes everywhere. So I'll be like, yo, how the hell, like
you ain't
never
touch
got
it.
hung up in that shit.
Never
like,
touched
yo,
it.
Like I was, but I know it was like the Lord.
Right. Yeah, that's a spirit.
He kept that vessel clean.
I had a dream like 2 nights ago that I was this is a quick part. I came out of a building and then I just saw like police officers standing there and they were like trying to calm down some individual. So I'm thinking it's regular. So I turned around and then they're like, "Yo, everybody get down, he got a gun." So I turned around and I just see shots just firing, and I know they're standing right behind me, just firing in my direction. So I try to go down and cover and shit, and I'm just seeing bullets ricocheting and shit, but none of them touch me. And in my head, I was like, yo, this is gonna tell me whether, the Lord is with me or not, because if a bullet hit me, I'm done. So they're right behind me. I'm like, they let it off. I'm like, Lord, but it didn't touch me. And then last night, I actually had a dream about zombies. Where in the dream, there was one person was sick. I don't know what they had, but they were sick. And they were sick for a while. And people were just, everybody was watching him and everything. Then another person in the room started, he started like showing symptoms. Yeah. And then he was just sitting there. And then all of a sudden, he just like, his face got dark. His eyes got like yellowish, like bile, like that kind of look. And then this man just got up and just started attacking somebody trying to eat him. And I was like, we gotta go. We gotta go out of here now. But
hey, it's happening, man. Whatever they put in these things, man, is doing way more damage than people actually think. It's not a light thing, man. I seen videos of something known as black eye babies, which Lowell and I'll put a nice video together, because if I put just the video alone, they're gonna take it down. So you gotta actually do a lesson around it, hide the video in there so the algorithms will really pick it up. But they got black eye babies, man. Actual babies that are born, they call them pandemic babies. And all them children that were born during, mothers who took the thing before they were born, man, these children are coming out looking crazy, man. Eyes pitch black. Yeah, I'm gonna do a lesson on pitch black, man. They got all kinds of different abilities, man. I mean, these children born a few hours later, this kid is moving his head, kicking his feet. Yo, yeah, man, they're not moving like regular people. People are like, yo, what the fuck is going on? Yeah, and I was like,
World War Z.
yeah, the World War Z shit. And I was like, through the spirit, I was like, damn, these children must have, they didn't go through the normal cycle of 3 to 4 generations. They must have came back right back, because it's like the Most High said, you gonna get judged, bitch. Because these kids, they come out, yeah, and their faces, it tells you a lot that we at the end, because you could tell they're not happy being here. You could tell the children, like I think I sent you that.
I sent you that.
Yeah, no, there's a video I sent you, I think it was yesterday or this morning, where the child.
Oh yeah, you said this.
Yeah, this one. Look at this. Look. Look at his face.
Like, man, the fuck.
You're not happy.
Man,
Yeah, look,
I
he
hit it, I'll
pissed.
put it up.
Look, and that's the spirit of the child, man. The children are pissed.
see
Like,
it?
these babies,
Yeah.
man, they, yeah. Oh, there's
He frowned
damn, I don't think I have the video.
and he
But I'll
snarled.
do a lesson. I'll put it together. Yeah.
Jeez.
They got black-eyed
Yeah.
babies, man, like pitch
Like,
black.
fuck,
It's
here
not
we
just
go
one.
again.
It's
Like,
a
why am I
whole
here?
bunch of
Yeah,
children
it's-
that's like that. You know, they come up,
They coming out pissed off.
yeah. You know, they got the face, you could tell they're not happy. And I'm like, damn, like you got children that are like a few months old already talking. They're already talking, man. And the mother's like, what the fuck? Like, is this normal? I'm like, bitch, don't you understand what's going on? So they, I believe they might have skipped that 3-4 generation. They came right, the Lord said, no, you gonna come right back. Yeah.
Hey, well, real quick too, I just got a notification. It says that negotiators at the COP26 climate summit in Glasgow reached an agreement after marathon talks. They basically reached an agreement on taking more climate action. Michael 2. Yep, Michael 2 and 1. Yep. So now they're getting ready to now. So you gotta think about it, right? If they've reached an agreement, it's okay. You in your area you do this. In your area you do this. So you can expect that, you know.
Yep. Hey, Dabu did a video I think 2 days ago. He was saying that Klaus Martin Schwab and his demonic influence, you know, they're together. You know, they said that they coming up with a new narrative, a new plan to push forward this agenda. I said, a new narrative? Huh. So now we're gonna see what the next thing is gonna be. But then they're also saying that countries are already doing a lockdown because there's another spike.
Rise, right?
Yeah.
There's always a rise.
There's always a rise. So we're already paying attention. They already talking about dark winter. They're talking about food shortages. They're talking about cases rising. They're talking about lockdowns. They're talking about unvaccinated people not going to be able to be free and so on and so forth. So now we see they're about to start pushing that draconian shit.
They have to.
They have to at this point. You
Yeah,
know?
because they've been like stepping slow. Even though they moved, like right now, they said the Supreme Court put a halt on Biden's
Right,
mandate.
Yep.
Now, you know what's interesting is when they did that, they said that what he's doing is sort of infringing on constitutional boundaries, right? Now, what they do is, you'll notice, now they're throwing Constitution into the talk. They're throwing the possibility of a Constitution being infringed in the talk. So what do you think is going to happen from that? Because like last year with Trump, when he came out and said, yo, we might have to postpone the election because of the fraud and shit, we already knew that something was going to happen with the election. They just threw it out there to start putting it more and more into the talks. So don't be surprised, because their plan is to do away with the Constitution. So now that they've already put that into the talks, like, yo, this guy is trying to overstep, what's he gonna come back with? Because he's already telling them, yo, ignore what the Supreme Court is saying about the halt on the mandate.
Right.
Well, what do you mean, bro?
Exactly. And what happened to the checks and balances?
Right.
All of a sudden, Biden comes to power. You don't hear about Supreme Court. You don't hear about the Congress. It's just executive branch, executive
Biden
order, executive
administration.
right. You know, that's all totalitarianism, man. Which Lord willing, I'll do another lesson on that. It's crazy, man. You know, but Micah 2
and 1.
Yeah.
This is Micah chapter 2, verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds.
Right. So Glasgow, the COP26 that just happened, they saying that they marathon talks, all that. That's iniquity, man. That's coming together. And somebody get me Psalms 83. Continue on that.
All right. When the morning is light, they practice it.
Right. So when the morning is light, meaning it's time for them to come onto the open and show you the plans that they were doing in secret, because the meetings, people are not there. So it's being similar to basically saying in the nighttime when everyone is sleeping, nobody's allowed. Guess what? The public are not allowed in there. When they have the Bilderberg meetings, the press can't go in there. The common man, you're definitely not going in there. But guess what? All the plans that they're making affects the common man.
Right.
So why wouldn't you involve the common man? If this is all inclusive, what happens? You know, it goes to show you that there is an elite system, man, and people don't want to believe it. But guess what? It's the truth. All right, your whole life is orchestrated to be what? So you can be controlled. That's it. All right, your whole life. You go to school, you go to work, politics, whatever, everything you eat, whatever you believe, religion, all that bullshit. Guess what? It's orchestrated by these so-called elites. Going back to Job 9:24, they have the power to do these things, man. Go ahead.
Because it is in the power of their hand.
There you go. In the power of their hand, the Most High has given them the power to do that. Because guess what? Look at all the generations of old. Look at all the empires that ever ruled in society. There wasn't like Esau. Nobody. I mean, you had Nebuchadnezzar, you had Antiochus, you had Xerxes, Alexander. They all had ideas and agendas to kind of like formulate a whole plan. Going back to the Tower of Babel. You know, that all that time they had this one world ideology, but it wasn't until now that they said, now we got to step into. We really got to bring it to the technology. There you go.
Only he that now letteth will now let until he be taken out of the way.
All right. So bring it back to Second Thessalonians, but actually go to Psalms.
Start from the top.
Let's start.
Psalms 83:1. Keep not thou silence, O power. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power.
Right, and that's the Lord is not keeping his silence, because now guess what? The men of the Lord are out there, which are the mouthpieces of the Most High. So the Most High is finally speaking, man. For so long, nobody knew about all these things we're bringing out. It was forbidden to speak about these things. I mean, these devils actually have books and instructions and saying, look, all this stuff that we're talking about here, like the brother mentioned about the NDA and stuff like that, if you talk about these things, you're gonna get your throat slit from ear to ear. They use words like that. We're gonna slit your shit from left ear to right, and we're gonna cut your whole shit out. Yeah. Some people get their tongues cut, like they threaten you with shit like that. So all these people, the Masons, you take the oath, you can't come out and speak on these things. But so how do people know about this? You got men like Manly P. Hall, you know, Albert Pike, all these so-called top Masons, William Cooper, you know, all these so-called top so-called men who know the inside, they bring it out. What happened to them? You know, it's the Lord who put the spirit on them to bring these things out.
A lot of these CIA agents, when they hit their deathbed, they be writing. They already had these books written, but when they hit their deathbed, they'll release them. Like, yo, I'm about to die. And what happens is they like, yo, I'm about to see God, and I did a lot of fucked up shit in my life. So they try to make the wrong right by writing a book and spilling the beans of all the shit that they had, foul shit that they had did operating under the CIA. Now, a lot of them books we try to get pressed down and printed, but a lot of printing companies grab them and print them out. Like Alberto Rivera, he was part of the Convent Catholic Church, Jack T. Chick. Now, he been wrote those books, but Chick Publications had grabbed his writers and published them. So that's how he the one the Lord used to expose Islam. How Islam was funded by the cat. He brought out all of that shit on Islam, but Albert Roberto Rivera, you know, he was part of the convent, and the Lord, he was an Ephraimite at that. The Lord put the spirit on him to bring out mad shit on the Catholic Church. And they killed him, but he put his writings down, and Chick Publications has printed his writings. So if you want to grab any of his writings in his books, it's through Jack T. Chick, through Chick Publications, grab his writings and publish it.
And that's a form of the Most High speaking, you know, giving his secrets out, man, because everything that's in the secret is always gonna come out.
Right.
All right, it's gonna be brought to light. You know what I'm saying? And how does that happen? Through this truth, man. A lot of things that come out is being brought out because of this truth. Okay, because it all goes back to scriptures. Okay, if you want to understand what's going on in the world, you gotta understand the scriptures, man. Okay, if you understand the inside of the Most High's mind and what He's written there, all world events fall into place perfectly. It doesn't, like you said, there's no dilemmas. There are no accidents. It's all done according to the Most High's time, man. Order, exactly. You know, there you go. Continue, Psalms 83.
Verse 2. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, And they that hate thee have lifted up their head.
Right, and who's the one who hates the Most High? Esau, Edom. Everything he does is against the Most High. He's an adversary to the Most High. Okay, go ahead.
And then when you lift up your head, you're showing pride.
Right, exactly.
Whose look is more stout than his fellows.
Yep.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
And crafty counsel goes into all these different summits. When they do all these COP26, who do you think it's for? It's not really for the whole world, because these heathens, they fall in line any damn way. It's for Jake, man. These heathens, you pay them, you pay their heads, and guess what? They all fall in line. That's why they all go to these summits. Do you ever see a Jake representative over there? No, because they're planning it to use against Jake, whether you want to believe it or not. Yeah, because we're a threat to these devils, man, especially the men of the Lord. Why? Because we incite people to think, to wake up. The spiritual covering cast that they have on people, when the truth comes out, it gets lifted automatically. You go, listen, and once you know the truth, you can't unknow it. Right. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. It's like a little virus, a positive virus that comes into your body and cleanses everything, man. And they don't want that.
It's like waking up from a dream and you can't go back to the back to the dream.
Exactly.
And Jake is real influential, you know, and they know that. And that's why they try to suppress. They was bringing out to show that how they said blacks, but that showed that basically Israel, they was using Judah mainly, that how we got a higher level of testosterone than a lot of other males and other nations. You know what I'm saying? And that testosterone, that's the masculine hormone for masculine vitality. So one thing about masculine energy, men rebel. Men have like a rebellious spirit. They have like a selfish type spirit to them. And that's why Esau tried to make one way of him destroying Jake, instead of really like dunning them down, is by making Jake homosexuals. Because once a man become a homosexual, he don't have that really rebellious spirit. See, women have the spirit, they opposite of us. So they have the spirit of compliance or selflessness. Men is selfish, and women are selfless, meaning they are designed to give you shit, to help out. Because they nurture us. They gotta give milk, they got a placenta, they gotta feed through the womb. So you meet a chick that's selfish, so you're at a table with her, you're like, yo, let me get a piece of your salmon. And she's like, no. Like, that's not feminine energy. Feminine energy is, hey, it's more giving, like love, like everybody. Yeah, it's more giving. But men have a selfish type mentality, naturally. Now, it can be done in wickedness, but men naturally have like a selfish, a man that tell you like, listen, man, fuck you, I'm doing my own thing. And he'll really go over there and do his own thing and build an empire. And so and Esau doesn't like that, especially about Israelite men. Because even though you got people that, like Kanye West talking back on his rant, talking shit again. He got bills talking about they gonna kill me and all that, this and that. But even though Jake sell out to Esau, Jake still got that rebellion, because Jake is the men of all men. And the men of Jake is Yahushua, but men on the earth, that's what it is. I brought out that point on the testosterone level. Jake is the men of all men. So Jake had that rebellion type spirit to him, and Esau tried to suppress it in many other ways. You know, by killing us, gunning us down by the police. You never noticed that Esau never shot a homosexual. Esau never shot like a foreigner, you know what I'm saying, a Hamite. You know what I mean? That he thought like, oh, this ain't no, you know, this ain't. They know who they targeting, because they shooting those heterosexual, trying to like masculine type dudes, because they trying to suppress that energy of rebellion, because that's what the warriors revolutions was caused by men from between ages of 18 and 26. That's a known fact.
Hey, that's beautiful, because man, this devil, man. You know, and like the elder said, now Esau is using, like we mentioned about the technology, right? Now they don't even have to use physical force on Jake no more. Just create a system and put him in there. Start at birth, at the school.
Yeah.
You know, when you go back into the 13 colonies, when they talk about the American Revolution and all this bullshit, right? It wasn't really an American Revolution per se. That's what they taught us in school. It was actually these so-called founding fathers who were actually Masons. they were known as elites that didn't like what was going on in England. So they said,
Calvinists and all.
exactly. So like the elder said, they wanted to come do their own thing. So they came out here, established it, and said, okay, well, we're gonna do it this way. And then they saw how dope the land is. They're like, yeah, hold up. We ain't gonna have to work for these fucking people no more. Let's fight for our own independence. But then you had slaves, so-called slaves, and then you had Jake, you had so-called natives that were here, okay? And they were all at that time, they were all there on the East Coast and so on and so forth. And Esau said, these people here, they're too committed to the Queen of England. The monarchs and so on, they're too committed. They're like actual slaves to them. They came here on a purpose because they were shipped off from the UK because they didn't want no serfs over there. You know, so you had poor so-called poor so-called white people, and they shipped them over and brought them into the so-called new land, so they could be used as slaves. You know, work for us and bring us the money. So you had these top dudes, you know, Jeffersons and Washington, all of them, and they were like, nah, fuck this shit. We got, you know, Esau. No, we're gonna have to do our own thing here. So guess what? We need to gather these people so they could come with us so we could fight against the British. But then the people are like, nah, we're committed to the British. We're not gonna do that. So they say, here, we're gonna have to break this to their classes. Look, you over there, you so-called indentured slaves, we're not gonna put you in slavery no more. We'll give you land, we'll give you money, you just gotta fuck with us. You wanna do it this way or what? Look, and if you're able to do that, we can have all this land. Look at America, we can create our own world. And then they were like, you know what, that's not a bad idea. But they said, hold on, the so-called blacks, the so-called natives, you cannot be a league with them. Because guess what? They felt that rebellious spirit. Jake was setting fire in the land, you know, sparking uprisings. Jake has always been rebellious. So they said, we got to kill that spirit. So divide, okay? Do not be among them. We're going to give you land, we'll give you money, we'll give you power over them. If you're not with them, you could fuck with us. What's up?
Especially with Benjamin, because it goes back before then, when they was grabbing us out of Africa. Benin, up in there, the tribe of Benjamin. It's up in the, when you check out the book Hebrewisms of West Africa. Yo, the tribe of Benjamin, man, them Edomites, them different slave owners was like in Levi.
Yeah.
I think it was Levi.
It was Levi.
It was Levi.
Yeah.
They was like, yo, I'm not fucking with them Levites, man, because like, yo, like, it was like they get loose and like be done butchered, like I killed every fucking thing, like. So they was like, which one of y'all willing to take Levi? So the British had them at first, but they was like, nah, we don't want these fucking Levites, man. So they wound up giving them to the French, and the French won, but it was all prophecy, so they could land on Hispaniola and Simeon and Levi could be brethren, and prophecy could be fulfilled. But they already knew that Jake, like, yo, and that's why even to this day, Esau don't want too many Levites. They'll deport a Levite quick as hell. Like, Levi on some shit over here, you know, like, they don't want too many Levites invading this land, man. Because they know that they caught hell from Levi, man. Jake overall, period, had that spirit, but man, Levi was like brave, like got that heavy rebellion to him. Heavy and real heavy.
Yeah, because hey, see, you know, you hear Levi, you think go to priest. Right. And it's like a stereotype where when people hear priest, they think of like, you gotta be all like, yeah. Yo, man, when the Levites turn up, man, the book of Maccabees, what you think? You think they were Levites, you know? And then when you go into the time during Moses' time, who did the Lord say to get the sword and to slay the other Israelites? And them Levites, they did it. They shit, fuck up. You know what I'm saying? They got to work and they slew thousands of Jakes that were going off. You know, so when the Lord puts that spirit on Levi and they turn up, man, they don't bring that priest shit. You know what I'm saying?
Even King Saul, when he wanted to try to take out David and destroy his strength, kind of, so to say, he had got the Edomite Doeg, and he got what? They killed what? 85 priests, which was what? The Levites, man, because he know the strength and power. He like, yo, if I take out these priests, because if I go up against King David and these priests start, you know what I'm saying, helping defend them, I'm gonna have a problem. So he got Doeg to take out 85 priests.
Yeah, when you read in the book of the Kings, when Athaliah or Athaliah, her wicked ass, when she actually ruled. You know, there's actually a Judite woman that actually ruled. And she ruled for a little period, and what she did was she tried to slay all the children, any heirs to the throne so she could rule. But then the priest saved one, right? She came up in there, when she found out they had crowned him as king, her big ass came up in there, boom, what the fuck's going on here, da-da-da, man. They grabbed her ass, they said they got because in the temple, you needed to have mighty men, in case somebody want to fuck around. So they got the mighty men, they grabbed her ass and they slew her ass. Same thing with, what's his name, King Uzziah.
Yeah.
He got so zealous that he wanted to go and burn incense upon the altar. He was going off because the kings weren't supposed to do that. It was only for the priests and the Levites. And they said the second he got up close, man, them Levites got up like, whoa, whoa, whoa. They grabbed his ass and they said, we don't care if you're a king, you're not doing this. You know, so hey, them Levites, man.
Yeah, that's why the Lord chose the Levites to minister his work, because there are certain instances where it was tough. You had to have a certain spirit to do those things, man. To slay an animal, most people can't do that now. You know, there's you slay,
ram,
like
bullets and shit.
You had to, and back then the mighty men, you had it's like an oath that you took. Your life, the king's life, depends on your life. So you had to be on point. When you read 1 Samuel, all right, I believe the last 2 chapters or so, where you had King Saul was looking for David to kill him, and Saul was in the cave with his men, and David went and cut his little piece of his garment, right? He shouted, he called out Abner, you know, and he said, yo, you know you're supposed to be put to death because you're not on guard.
Oh, yeah,
I could have killed your kid.
Oh, because it was actually when they were sleeping.
Yeah.
And he snuck up in there.
Yeah.
I think
He cut off, yeah.
He took
His and his staff.
He said, see if you can find your
Exactly, yeah. And he said, see, that right there, your blood should be up on your head because you're not keeping guard, man. You're supposed to watch over your kid. You know, so anyone could, if I could do it, anyone could come in and he would have killed all of you. You know? So you know what you... Yeah, that was bad. I was like, oh, shit. You know? So you had a mandate. So that's the same thing for us. You know, this truth, we guard this truth with our lives. It's an oath that you take. You want to be a priest of the Most High, you want to be a minister for the Most High, it's a lifelong thing, man. You don't just come in like, you got dudes who come in and they think it's something, nah, bro. The Most High could take you out quick. You know, you're serving, that's why the scripture says, be a good soldier for Yahweh Shai, man. You know, you at war. It's a spiritual war, man. You have to be in the spirit at all times. Like Esau doing all this demonic shit. I mean, 2-3 weeks ago, yo, I could feel in the spirit. And I could also tell brother spirits as well, there was some type of high satanic energy that was going on. We had even elders was, they were sniffling, coughing and shit like that. I'm like, damn, something going on in the spirit. You know? So these devils do satanic seances on the left-hand side, so we gotta always be in the spirit of putting prayers up, being the best spirit as possible, man, because you have to do that. You have to do that, man. If not, you're gonna be knocked down.
Yeah.
You're gonna be knocked down, man. It's no joke.
That's why Paul said that it's we wrestle not against flesh and blood. See, flesh and blood, you punch somebody, they bleed, you fight, and then you go home. They can't really do anything to you. But when you wrestle against spiritual wickedness in high places, you at home and they doing shit to you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you don't even. So that's why if you're not constantly in the spirit, when the Lord is protecting you, you want to step out the boundary of the spirit. You want little smoking shit. You want to step out the boundaries. Demons are look, man. The second you step past the perimeter of protection, the whole world is full of demons, man. And they're waiting for you to step out. They're baiting you. They're like, yeah, just come on out. And you step out, man. They will devour.
The roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour.
He said Satan planned to sift thee as wheat.
So we mean something. We're actually a commodity, man. Esau wishes he had control over the spirits of the men of the Lord, because that's the highest kind of spirit you could have on earth. As of right now, being a servant of the Lord, that makes you the top of the top. Because ain't nobody serving no other purpose that's greater than the servicing the Most High. Right. Nobody. So to Esau, it's like, if we can have power over those men, we got it. But that's why the Lord said he has reserved unto himself 7,000 men that will not bow their knee to Baal. So you have a complete amount of men who are, no matter what happens, we always going to stand firm and kick you right back in your ass, man. That's how it's going to be.
Yeah.
All right?
You can't see what the Most High set up. You can only, that's why Yahweh told Pontius Pilate, you can only do what my Father has given you the power to do. Because the Lord, the only reason Esau is able to do the things he's doing now is because the Lord said, look, I actually want you to do this. But what I've set up, actually get that real quick in Romans 11. the Lord said, what I set up, you can't. Can you bring a unclean out of a clean? Right. You know, what I set up, can you change? Who, like the scripture said, who's gonna bring me to counsel?
Right.
Who taught me? Right. You know? So if the Lord set up the elect to be the elect, it doesn't matter what the devil does. And the fact that this devil never sat down and said, hold on 1 second. It doesn't matter what we do. Whatever the Lord says will happen. So let's just stop. The Lord put into their minds where their pride will keep them going because they have to keep going so that the prophecy of the right of the Lord can happen.
He hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he's doing the same thing. Esau is his heart is being hardened to the point where he sees that he doesn't have time, but yet he's still pushing, talking about a metaverse. Oh, we gonna create a whole universe and we're gonna chip people and all this. It's like, yo, talking about 2050, agenda 2030. I'm like, you don't see what's going on in the world? 2030? What the fuck is wrong with this nigga, bro? Like, yeah, man, like, hell's wrong with you people, bro?
Hopefully you're gonna be in shackles by 2030. You know about 20.
Man, I'm like, damn, we say fucking 2020.
Yeah, like, yeah.
Niggas say 2030, like, fucking.
Out of 10 more years. Yeah. Hey,
I'm like, yo, you don't know how to round off numbers?
Right.
Yeah, man. You know, that's why the scripture says the pride of thine heart has deceived thee, man. You've been deceived because you have all this power. You really think you're God. You really think that. They really believe that shit. It's crazy. I'm like, man, these Rothschilds, bro, like, it's like, yo.
It's a God complex.
Yes. You know, there's something called paternalism, you know, which is the belief that they have the power to dictate what you should do and how to do it. Because you don't have the mental capacity to be able to think for yourself.
And when you go into, you said that paternalism, when you go into that word paternal, it goes into the word parent or father. So they saying, I'm the father, I'm the, like Pope,
Right.
means father.
Exactly.
So it all ties in. But it's funny, like you said, paternalism, and you broke down the definition, but the root word of paternalism is parent, or pater, and pater means father, or like today's society, you have a paternity test. That's a test to determine whether a man is the father of a child. For a woman, it's a maternity test. And that's also when you get the a paternity. They say a fraternity, but it really goes back in part to fraternity frat, which goes back to men, because a frat house is full of what? Men.
Yeah, because for so long, you know, as the scriptures say, who can make war with the beast, right? For so long, they have been the power structure, right? The feet, that's them. They are in, I mean, you gotta think about it, right? Xerxes, he didn't think he was gonna go down. Yeah. You know, he thought he was God. Commanding thousands, you know. Now Esau looking at himself like, yo, hold on. We got armies, which the ancient kings had. But we have technology, you know? Like, yo, you can put on the headset and you can freaking see things that aren't there. You know, we can put on prosthetic legs. Like, they're like, yo, we've done shit no other king or empire has been able to do before.
Right, exactly.
So with our knowledge of technology, and you know why they're so proud is because the level they're at, what is exposed to the public is far behind what they have.
Right, exactly.
So you may think, well, with the technology they
50,
got,
70 years?
yeah, like 50.
Yeah.
With the technology they got now, you may be like, well, why are you so proud? Like, most I can easily destroy that.
Right.
But in their minds, they're like, yo, you don't even know what we got.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Like Biden said that the other time. He said, if you want to come against the government, you need F-15s and all. I'm like, yo, you're so carnal, bro. Look at, you sound just like Goliath, bro.
Right.
He was talking all this shit. You know, look at me, like our Cubans this and 150,000 worth of, you know, all kinds of shit.
My dog.
Yeah, like, you know, and King David can pull up, but he said, they were like, yo, you gonna go up against this guy with it? He said, I come in the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. That's it. That's all we come in the name and spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. How you gonna stop that? How do you stop that, Esau? Give me that answer. You Rothschilds, how do you stop that? Jacob Rothschild, guess what? You're such a pussy. Guess what? You would never, ever come to no camp. Talk all your shit. Talk about you have all the power. Guess what? You would never pull up to no camp.
Come on down.
Come on down. Let's have a talk. You would never do that. You want to talk about you, the king of the earth. We're showing you that we are the true kings of this earth. Because we could come out here and talk all this stuff, talk about the scriptures, talk about the Most High, and talk about what's going to happen to you very, very soon. You're going to be in slavery. That's a fact. Now, only a king can utter these words. How do we know the future like that? And say it so boldly and confidently because we come in the name and spirit of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, man. Right. And you can't defeat that. You can't beat that, man. We give you 1 billion years and you will never beat that, man. That's a fact.
Remember 300, the second one? Xerxes came out, he was like, whoa! And the whole kingdom was like, yeah, we with you, nigga. Y'all motherfuckers can't do that. They'd be like, they throwing stones at your fucking castle and shit. They find you, Jacob Rothschild out here and beat the living shit out of you. Know what I mean? So you ain't really got no power. You like hiding, you know? But the old ancient kings was like respected. And people was down with them. You know, Leonidas and all them, they'd walk out in the forefront, like in the movie Troy. You know, they walked out and their whole army was like, yo, as soon as one of these motherfuckers do whatever, you get a green light, we mashing them. We with you. Tens of thousands of people. We willing to die for you. The single word you say, we down, we with you. This society ain't with you. They looking to smoke your ass in hiding, doing a lot of faggot shit behind scenes. I mean, my bad, my spirit got loud, but you know, they do call the key word. A lot of weak ass shit you doing, man. Because you don't have real power. Your power lies in deception.
12. And now the power is being stripped from you because there's truth. You know, breaking down strongholds, man. You know, so it's over for you devils, man. It's just a matter of time, and you know, it's over for you, man. And when we get our hands on you, we're gonna take our time, bro. Scripture says, give reward unto her double. So everything you've done, if we were to go down the list, and not just what you did to us as a people, but just breaking all the laws of the Heavenly Father, I mean, you're gonna pay. And we're talking 1,000 years of pain, suffering, and we're gonna take our time.
And work.
Well, man, we're gonna take our time, man.
You gonna work. You gonna work. We're gonna make sure you work.
You gonna get this work.
You gonna get this work.
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah, they gonna work, man, men and women,
Yeah.
and children.
And children.
You know what I'm saying? I'm a woman. Bitch, man, put on the hottest parts, man. In the sun. I want to see us get to a reddish shit, man. Man,
We got work for women.
we got, cause see, you building a kingdom with our mindset. You're not building the Empire State Building or Paris or no. You building our kingdom.
Right.
So we're gonna tell you exactly. If we tell you to go to the bottom of the ocean and get that stone over there, you find a way. You know. But get that real quick.
And shit, our kingdoms, like what the Lord said, for like brass, I would give silver. For silver, what he say for wood, I would give get that in Isaiah 60. Yeah, right quick. For wood, because like how you see wood around now, we gonna have wood, but we gonna have like brass doors, like silver. Like our kingdom gonna be made of like substance. Like this bullshit kingdom, man, they'll build a 7-Eleven in like fucking 6 weeks. It'll be an empty lot. You'll come back like, oh shit, a 7-Eleven right there? And you like, yo, how they build that shit so fast? Because, you know, they had the technology, but a lot of that material that they use is not worth shit, like these cars. You'll look at these cars like, oh, that shit hot. That shit ain't hot. That shit, you get hit doing 5 miles an hour, the whole fucking bumper will fall off. You know? That whole thing, the cars that was made out of something was cars from like the 50s to the 70s, where they had stronger engines and they was made out of that hard, solid metal. Those was like real firm cars. This world ain't worth shit.
Got you, Hop. This is Isaiah 60, chapter 60, verse 17. For brass I will bring gold, and for iron I will bring silver, and for wood brass, and for stones iron.
And for stones, iron. So just how you see stones, like this building is made out of stone. This would be an iron building. And iron is a bad fucking metal as far as heaviness. So you devils going, you had us lifting bricks, y'all devils gonna be lifting iron. Yeah. You ain't gonna have no motherfucking steel toe boots neither.
And you gotta smelt the iron, so you're gonna be in a chamber.
Rugged outbacks.
You gotta melt it. You know, you gotta be in a chamber, liquefying it to shape it into a wall.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
You gotta mine all of that. Then Jake is like architects. Then people change their mind. No, you do. You go rearrange your room. You'd be like, Anything. It's just life. You can start drawing, and you be like, and you erase it. Like, I'm gonna make the nose a little bigger, or you be like, nah, that's a little too tall. Take that down.
I don't work 5 years for this though. Take it down.
You gonna have your children come up and say the most ridiculous, like, Dad, I want that to be over there. You be like, you know what? Yeah, put that over
Kids
there.
definitely change their
The
mind.
children, man. You gonna give orders. This children really should be here.
That shit is agitating, man. Because even when I'm helping my moms, you know, women, they're not visionaries.
Right.
So they would do shit off of instinct and feelings. And it's just who they are. You don't get mad, but you get mad at the laborious part. So fucking with mom, sometimes she be like, could you move this hand for me? And it be, if it don't be heavy, it be like some awkward shit where you gotta go upstairs with. Then she'll switch it up for you. You're like, you know what? Just take it over there. I mean, like, yo. I be like, listen. Figure out where you want all of this shit at, and then let me know. Because yo, that's like you know, you doing that, you like, and then your mind, as with that script in the plot, as the climbing up the way, as the climbing up the hill to the feet of the age, because your feet is saying, I can't wait to get up this hill. See, you lifting a marble table. You're like, man, coming down these stairs. I can't wait to get it to the kitchen. Then you got the other brother on the left. You like, it's whole stair. You sitting on the rack. Boom! And you know,
There's that, but there's actually one that says you
now we just gotta get the list. Did somebody tell you like, no. I want that over there. That shit is frustrating, man. And for you devils, it's just like, yo, I dare you to. It's gonna be like, yo, I dare you to say something. I dare you to act like you don't want to do it, or act like you frustrated or tired.
You're gonna go through slavery with joy. You know,
Smile on your face.
Yeah, like the scripture that says, they that were not supposed to drink it have surely drunk it.
Okay, yeah.
You know,
So how much more for you?
Exactly, man. So you gonna go through hell. Like our heaven is gonna be your hell, just like your heaven right now is our hell. You know, you gonna go through major hell. It's gonna be a kingdom of your spirit just you get that Edomite spirit beat right into your ass.
And what's they heaven? Fucking where we at right now,
Exactly.
New York City. All you fucking devils talking to people around this bitch now. You want New York. This is your heaven, man. And this shit is a shithole. Listen, man, not even when people talk about New York, they don't talk about the 5 boroughs. They talk about Manhattan. When you tourists, you other motherfuckers from the world, you used to eat, let's go to New York. Y'all don't got Brooklyn or the other boroughs in mind. Y'all talking about coming to Manhattan, but not even all of Manhattan. Y'all talking about coming from, I would say, like the financial district, from the bottom, Battery Park, Wall Street, to maybe the Midtown, the 50s. That's your heaven. Because everybody, ain't no place like New York. Oh man, New York. I've been in all different cities, but nothing tops New York. This is your heaven. This is what you devils live. Then this shit is not all the way put together. Listen, you got like, you devils funny too. You got the Upper East Side, right? That's all like rich Edomites. But then you got the Lower East Side down by the FDR. That's all Jake Ephraim and all that. And it's funny, you got a project down there called Baruch Houses. And Baruch was one of the scribes of Jeremiah, showing that that's Israelites. So you saying, listen, we Upper East Side, we the uppity, it's our kingdom, and Jake is at the foot on the Lower East Side, and the projects and shit on the bottom. You know what I'm saying? Then you devils, this your heaven, right? 12th Avenue, the West Side Highway, that shit, what you got over there? You got Chelsea Piers, what you got? You got the Jacob Javison, that shit is a desert. 10th Avenue was, 11th Avenue was fucked up. Ain't shit on 11th, people complaining about that shit to this day. 10th Avenue, it ain't shit on 10th Avenue. So really, you devils really got from fucking Battery Park to Midtown to like the 50s, and you got like 9th Avenue to fucking, not even all the way over, cause Jake over there, to like 1st Avenue. That's your heaven. That's your fucking heaven, man. Hey, Esau, man, you gotta fix your shit up, man. But the Lord said they shall build, but I'm gonna throw down. But you got praise in New York City, you ain't even fixed all your whole fucking shit up. Like I said, 9th Avenue got fucking all types of potholes and construction. That shit is fucked up. 9th Avenue all the way to the West Side Highway. So this place, really what you devils got ain't shit compared to what we gonna have, man. On no level. But you got it.
No, hey, beautiful point, man, because that's if this is the best you're gonna get, because what happens after this? You go into slavery for 1,000 years, then you get destroyed. You go, that's it, that's it, you're done. And this is it. This is it. I mean, look, if you at least got maybe a quarter of what the kingdom is gonna be like, and then you're gonna go into 1,000 years, you can think about what the kingdom was like. But imagine serving slavery in an empire that's so marvelous. You looking at this shit like, maybe I don't want slavery to end. Right. You know? You're in this shit like, yo, I'm getting my ass beat, but it's in heaven. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know?
And that's why some brothers said they're gonna have Esau like in the pit.
Oh,
Or
right.
in the outfield somewhere, yeah.
That's where you gotta be. That's where you belong. That's what Job said. You know, they were driven from among men. So we don't want no Edomites around us.
Yeah.
Even right now, in our lowest estate, when we go around Edomite neighborhoods, we feel weird.
Hell yeah.
You be like, nah, I don't like being here.
Yeah.
You know? And they look just like their God was. They got the big nose, they dead ass look like them. You like, damn, these motherfuckers are ugly. You know? You can't, if you're a Jake, you can't date Amalekite daughter. You can't. Even if she's into you. I meet all of them in college. Boy, I'm like, yo, you gonna have to. Oh man. You might have a couple
of fine ones, but they might be jakes. Because even it's Israel scattered amongst Amalek, especially coming from the Sephardic Jews.
Yep.
The Sephardic Jews came like out of Spain, but they wound up blending with Ashkenaz and all that. But predominantly, like, they go back to Esau, but you got Jake scattered amongst them because Jake was all up in Spain. So you had those Jakes up in Spain, the Moors and all that. They wound up getting with them, like putting their seed in up in some of them Amalekite women. So you do got like Jake scattered amongst Amalekite. I know some of you dudes out there hate to hear that, and y'all hate to hear Jake scattered amongst the other nations. But to say Esau, but Amalek, but yeah, that's true. And the Lord said all nations, man. So even Amalek. If an Amalekite come, believing in his faith, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and calling on the name and teaching the proper doctrine, you can't shut him down.
Sure.
You gotta let him do his thing.
because the Spirit bears witness that we are all the children of the Heavenly Father.
That's right.
And everything we do is based on the Spirit. This word going on is all based on the Spirit. We don't go to people directly and be like, oh, you definitely an elect. Oh, no, you're not. Oh, you are. No, we don't. We don't know that. So you just got to give out the word, and the Lord is going to do the sifting. The angels do the sifting all the way to the end.
Whether they receive it or they don't. That's it. Only the elect can receive it. Right.
They do follow me.
That's right. Got it.
Isaiah chapter 24, verse 22.
And this is going to be your fate.
And they shall be gathered together as prisoners are gathered in the pit.
So they're going to be gathered as prisoners are gathered in the pit. And when you go into that word, I believe it goes into like a dungeon. So you want to talk about actual dungeons, we're going to have you in dungeons. Like when you go to Ghana, like Almeida Castle, they had those holding dens for Jake. But yours is going to be, man, because look, we're going to know the best way to do it to where you're tormented to the max.
They put Jake in solitary confinement. That the whole prison shit, they call it the hole. You think you get in a fight or you don't comply with some shit, or they find contraband or something in the room, they throw you in the hole for 30 years. Damn.
Oh,
Yeah, they did that. Going back to the point you made about Almeida Castle, they had these dungeons, they had these rooms specific for the strong Jake men who were rebellious at first. They'll keep you in there, no food, no water. That was your punishment until you calm down. You had a room that they kept Jake in, especially the women, if you were on the big side, because the last door to go, I kid you not, it's like this tall, right, and this wide. Okay, so and imagine just being shackled on your feet and your neck and your hands, and you have to follow in a queue. literally step by step to go through that. It was called the door of no return. That was the last door before you get into the ships. And these devils had Jake in there, and if you were big and tall, they'll starve you out until you get skinny enough so you can go through that door, man. Yeah. So we're gonna do the same thing to you, man. We're gonna do the same thing and worse to you. You have to go through that. All right. A lot of you fat Edomites, you're gonna have to be slimmed down so you could get shackled up. Rothschilds chilling. Listen, man. In the kingdom, look, we're gonna be pampered. All right, we're not going to be worried about, damn, I got to actually put in work to do this. Nah, the Lord said we're going to sing upon our beds for joy. We're going to be pampered, man. As the children of the Most High, you're going to really understand what it means to be a child of the Most High, man. All the sorrow, all the pain, all the suffering, all the curses that we've been through, the Lord is going to take all that away from us. Yep. Why? Because we got it. We finally understand, oh, Father, all these things that you did for us, it was actually for the betterment of our nation. Starting with the elect, so we're finally understanding, Father, it's no more. And you notice, America is the last captivity because it's the seventh of our captivity as a nation as a whole, meaning completion. We go from Egypt, ancient Egypt, to modern day Egypt is a full circle of captivities all throughout, and it's the seventh and final captivity, man. So the Lord did a whole, a round thing to make us understand from beginning to end, from old Egypt, Mizraim, to modern day Egypt. The Lord said, this captivity after captivity after captivity until you get it. And we finally got it. So when we get to the kingdom, our people are going to be living royalty, like actual living, not surviving, not fighting, not, doubting, not going through all this BS that we're going through, man. And it's privileged. We're going to be privileged. Yes. Yes. We're going to be favored. Highly favored in the eyes of the Most High, man.
Yeah, because what if you look at the way the Most High moves, he doesn't move like he owes anything to anybody, because he doesn't. Even Yahushua, when he came in the likeness of a man, even in the condition he was in, he moved like he owned it all, because he already did. That's why it says he spoke with authority. So in the kingdom, when we have it all, why would we, you're underneath us. You're going to be treated like you're underneath us. You're going to treat your family, but, we're going to own it all. But get that real quick, and finish off in Isaiah and the other one.
I'll read again. Isaiah chapter 24, verse 22. And they shall be gathered together as prisoners are gathered in the pit.
And that started with you Edomites, all right? You elites.
And they shall be shut up in the prison, and after many days shall they be visited.
After many days, you're going to be visited. So you're gonna be in there, man. Whatever the condition is in there, you're going to be in there. If we said demons to plague you, whatever it is, you're going to deal with snakes and scorpions. Shit.
Hey, and what makes it worse is the anticipation of knowing when you get out what's going to happen to you. The beatdown, the ass whooping. Just from.
That's why I say shall visit. It ain't nobody coming, hey, how you doing? You got to visit. Like what Jake said, the Most High, the ultimate Jake. Niggas do something, Jake be like, yeah, we got to pay that nigga a visit.
Yeah.
What that mean?
Exactly.
Your ass about to get tightened up. You about to either catch a beat down or get sent to the spirit world. That's what that means.
Yep.
And the scripture, you shall be visited of the Lord of hosts with thunder, with earthquake, with hell and lightning, blast and fire. With Isaiah 20, I'm kind of butchering it a little bit, but what he mentioned after visited, he mentioned judgment. So that's what that means. You're going to be visited. We ain't going to go down there and check to see how you fucking doing. We're going to pull you out of there and fuck you up some more and put you to work.
God. Hey, because see, we're not going to need to. You got your hand up?
Yeah, I was going to just make a quick point. Imagine being left in the hands of a child. Because you know how children are. Imagine an Edomite being left in the hands of a child like Bam Bam or some shit. Just banging on the fucking floor, just beating your ass. And the child is enjoying it for laughter. He's like, you're not going to be like, oh, damn, you hurt? No, he's like, bam, 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 just hanging on the floor.
That's important. Yeah, see, because we're not going to need to worry about whether you're good or not. We're going to be able to revive your ass, bring you back. So it's not, oh, whoa, you almost killed him there. Oh, you did too. Nah, nigga, bro, you know what I'm saying? Where you going?
3 to 4 generations.
And that's not hard to believe because you can revive somebody now through CPR.
Right.
So is this kingdom better than ours? No. So what we gonna do? CPR to revive you? We can do some like biology type thing, but we're gonna actually do it with spiritual power.
Done. Yeah, Yahushua did it. And he was in the likeness of a man. He literally commanded. He said, yo, get your ass, wake up. And the dude woke up. Even death couldn't stop him. You
Hey,
know what I'm
he
saying?
gave his disciples power to do that.
Yeah.
All
He
the
did it.
God
did
did
it,
it, you
Paul
shall
did.
do in greater.
Yep. So Paul did it, Peter did it. So, and that was in the lowest form, in the chains of darkness. So how much more we're changed to where our natural body is built, spiritual power is built into us. Come
Hey,
on.
we do that now on a lower level. You might have somebody who's like, you have friends or family, parents, whatever, and sometimes they get in the spirit where it's like, it's over. And you go over there in the spirit, you pray over them, you anoint them, and they get revived again. That's bringing somebody back to life because they were in the state of death.
Inspiration is breath. Like you gave them breath. And when you give somebody breath, it's like part of CPR, you actually putting life back into them, bringing them back alive. So when somebody's like, yo, you inspired me, or like, yo, that thought you had inspired my business was dying, but the things you said inspired my business and it made, kept it alive, brought it back to life. You know what I'm saying? Meaning like to bring back to life, which is the breath, the scripture of the Most High.
Right there. It says there, after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life entered into them. It says the Lord breathed into man, and he became a living soul before him.
Ezekiel 37.
Yeah.
So on a prophetic level, spiritual level, we are reviving people from the dead. A lot of our people, starting from our elders and apostles on down, we were all at one point all dead because we didn't have the knowledge, we didn't have the truth to life. You see, so we lived lives, we used to eat pork, bacon, all that stuff that's literally killing yourself. We didn't understand the truth. But now we've been revived, we've been brought to life, through the spirit power of Yahweh Shem Yahshua, which is this truth, this word.
Right, and then ultimately we're gonna get to live life.
Exactly.
Now we're alive now, but now we're gonna get to live. See the difference between being alive and being able to live. In the kingdom, we're gonna get to live. We're gonna go from the dead to the living.
Hey, there's a quote. It says that most people die at 25 and are not buried until 75. So what does that mean? At 25 years old, all right, your spirit of ambition, it's already been indoctrinated to the point. You've already been indoctrinated to the point where at 25 you've been conditioned to be a slave. You don't think about life. You think about survival. But you don't really get to be put in the grave until you're 75 or you're physically dead. But mentally, spiritually, at 25, you're already done. They beat all that ambition out of you, all that spirit of the will to fight, the will to move, the will to actually live is all gone.
Your actual time that really had lived, if you want to count it, period, is as a child.
Yep.
Other than, like, if you did want to count, you lived whatever part of your life. Because a child, you kind of no response. You wake up, I'm going to see my friends. We're going to hang out. We're going to do this. We playing basketball. We're going here. I'm riding my bike. We're going swimming. So that stopped after a certain age, They say a man sacrifices his life and freedom to take care of his family. Then once his family gets a certain age, he sacrificed his more time and freedom to sacrifice his provide for his children and his grandchildren. And he had in his mind that he had never died until the day he died, knowing he never lived. It's like a little poem. He used his life to provide, he sacrificed his whole, this is the struggle of men. A man grows up, he gathers family. He sacrificed his whole existence to take care of his family and provide safety, health, and a future for his family. His family gets older, he goes harder to provide safety, health, and a future for his grandkids, knowing that, thinking he had never died till he actually died, knowing he never lived. And that's the struggles of a man. Because you use your whole existence on, and it's fucked up, because you got people, even some brothers that spend their whole existence and time putting it to their family, and their family, that's why this place gotta go. Their family get older and rebel against you. Right. They turn into homos, they start curse you out, fuck you, dad, and all this and that, and you be like, wow. You know what I'm saying? So this place gotta go. Because it's a saying, your peers have more influence than your parents. So this world got like a vibration on your children that you don't really, because you the dad, so you looked at as, oh, you just a disciplinary, you don't understand nothing, I gotta hide what I do and this and that. So they're gonna go mainly with the ways of this world. Like one brother I was talking to, he did everything in his power to keep his daughter like in proper, you know what I'm saying, like upbringing. But she just breaking off. He like, and it's really, and you can see it, you know, and it's like the Tyson spirit is coming in. Cause she like, I wanna do wrestling. Like, yo, you're a fucking female, like, you wanna wrestle? You know what I'm saying? So, it's just like, that whole spirit is like, you have children, but your children grow to say, fuck you. Your children grow to become something you never thought they would, like, turn out to be. And you like, wow, I always wanted to have a family. What does Pop say? It's better to have no children than to have them that are ungodly. You know what I'm saying? So you like, yo, if I knew that, I just would have lived the free agent lifestyle and like just kept my, you know, my sperm on, you know? So that like everything just backfires here. That's why we need the kingdom.
It's done. Yeah. Let's finish it off with that song, right? And spiritual was a rainbow right there.
Oh wow. Think the camera can. Oh wow, that's beautiful.
It's big, right?
Yeah, and it's clear though. Normally they be vague. Yeah, that's like real obvious.
Close to
Yeah,
the end, cause like
I bet you all them homos. You can't say that look nice in front of the general public. Somebody might push up on it. Yeah, this place gotta go, man. Little side joke, but man, this place gotta go, man.
No, that's crazy. Yeah, but you know, it's like, because the Lord said he showed as a sign, as a covenant, that he wouldn't destroy the earth by water anymore. And so spiritual, every time after it rains, he always puts it there to remind you that, look, don't even worry about it, because I'm not going to destroy the world by that's your sign right there. You know, that's
So
that
how
peace.
could the Old Testament be done away with in all the old prophecies? If he's saying, I keep my word, you know?
Yep.
He changed not, his word is solid.
Yep. How do you explain the rainbow? What's the breakdown to that?
significance behind
Yeah,
it?
where did that come from? It just happens, right? After it rains, that just shows up. How do you explain that?
Exactly. And it ain't for you rainbow color people either. When we say rainbow color, you know, we're not talking about that. You can't. That's again. This thing's gonna be destroyed.
It's special, man. I'm not gonna go into it. Nah, let's get that. Man, damn. Just even that alone, beautiful like that. So
Yeah.
imagine the kingdom.
Yeah.
I know, man.
Yeah,
Shit.
the rainbows in the kingdom gonna be
Yeah. Oh shit.
that we on that. Imagine like, you know,
Hey, that's beautiful, man. 2 weeks in a row, the Lord is like showing us this. Yeah,
Oh,
last
yeah,
week,
the
the chariots.
Yeah.
This week, the rainbow is like,
yeah.
damn. Hey, rough day out by the
Deliverance in the covenant.
Yep.
that, the deliverance. Hey, but part of the second covenant, you know, the covenant is the deliverance. That's part of it.
Yeah.
I will make a new covenant with the house of Judah and the house of Israel.
Oh, he said
Jeremiah 31.
He said the days of the Son of Man shall be like as it was in the days of Noah.
Right.
So the Lord is going to be with the chariots, and then the days of Noah was with the rainbow.
Yeah, that's it.
Psalms 149:1. Praise ye the Lord, sing unto the Lord a new song, and praise in the congregation of the saints. Let Israel rejoice in him that made him. Let the children of Zion be joyful in their king.
See, this is exclusive to the nation of Israel, and in their king. What?
Let them praise his name.
Let them. So we know who the them is, the children of Zion, right?
And it starts with the elect because it's only the elect that's actually acknowledging the king as Yahushua.
Right.
Ain't nobody else doing that but us.
Right.
So just that alone, we know who's who. You know?
Let them praise his name in the dance. Let them sing praises unto him with the timbrel and harp.
See, so we're gonna be partying, we're gonna be dancing, we're gonna be singing, and you know, hey, there's a scripture that says that when the Jake's son,
Yeah,
you know, it was
even
so
the Most
nice.
High,
The
yeah,
presence of the
yeah,
Lord
yeah,
came and
yeah.
sat like, I gotta hear this. Like,
Yeah,
what?
yeah. Hey, and guess what? When you hear the best choir is when you have men singing it. Because man, I've heard some music because you have different bass, different voices, and you got some men singing at a high pitch, low pitch, and it all blends in, and it's like you just the voices alone sounds like instruments in and of itself. I was listening to some orchestra, man. I was like, damn, and it's like men. That's why in the book of Psalm is mostly the Psalm of David. It has the Psalm of Asaph. That was an actual a group of men who were singing. They were actually singing the songs of the Most High, man. You know? So back then, imagine you got men with, yo, man, it's crazy.
Yeah,
And then you got
but you also gonna have women too.
women
You know,
too.
they
Hey,
be
look at Whitney Houston.
Yeah.
right.
You know, you look at it like, oh, typical Jake, but when she opened her mouth, you just
Right.
like,
Right.
yeah, like,
She got a raspy voice. Yeah. Yeah.
Because you know, so, like you were saying, one will be lower, one will be higher,
Yeah.
and then when they start coming and sing,
Yeah,
and then they
it's
cross
like,
and they go back. Hey man,
The symphony.
Yeah.
You know, literal harmony with music. Sympho going into sound, and then the knee going into togetherness, harmony. You know, there's another word. It's not coming to my mind right now, but it's the opposite of something that's a symphony.
hey, that's why it said the prophets was as gay as a lovely song.
Yeah.
Because people love, yo, one thing, like when I was younger, I don't aim for it now, but I used to hunt for women that could sing. Like my man's sister, she wasn't, years ago, before the truth, but she wasn't, like all that good looking, but she could sing her ass off. So I used to, because just to have a girl like, say, you know, Jake, we stress out fighting the world, dealing with different shit, but to have a woman that could sing, because I used to, she wasn't my girl, but I used to tell her like, hey man, sing that Mariah Carey hero shit. And she sing that shit. Man, I'll be off for the fucking liquor listening to that shit. Yo, that shit really bring like the stress level. And she like, and she's not doing it on no girl, but imagine her on some girlfriend shit looking at you. You know what I'm saying? And remember, we gonna act like that shit just like melt you up. That's why the Lord was like, they was as like a lovely song, cause that shit is really like mesmerizing. Your brothers ain't got to drink. There's different ways to decrease stress. Exercising, you know what I'm saying? Or you could have a beautiful woman sing a nice song. Or all right, chick singer with a voice sing a nice song. And that shit could just like really like decrease your stress level. Yeah.
Because music is powerful, man. See, music actually influences you and your spirit. Why do you think David played the harp when Saul had demons on him? And it actually took the demons off him. And that's why these devils manipulate that in the reverse order to put demons on Jake. When they listen to music, they got the music is actually influencing them. You know, because your body, music, sounds influence water as well. And your body's made up of what? 70% water. You know, so because sounds are vibrations. You know, and if you got water around, you can see like ripples in it. You can see different kinds of sounds. So music actually does. That's why certain songs. You notice when somebody gets their heart
set up the
broken.
band when he first came in. He set up a band.
Oh yeah. God. Yeah, like somebody gets their heart broken, they'll say I'm in my bag, and there's a certain kind of songs they listen to, right? Some J. Cole, some what's that dude's name? The Ocean, something like that. Billy Frank Ocean, whatever his name is. You know, they got certain songs for that. Then they got like hype songs. You know, and then they got like
Anthony Hamilton.
yeah. You know, so music is vibe, and it puts you in a mood. Because hey, we don't even understand the fullness of that. But in the kingdom, imagine that you got Jake with the best, hitting frequencies and pitches you've never heard before, mixed together, and a whole bunch of Jake. Man, them holy days, man.
That shit gonna be crazy. I just imagine what you just said. I'm like, yo, that's gonna, cause we be having fun, you know, just amongst each other bullshit. Some brothers know how to sing, brothers rapping and shit, like just bullshitting around, and you know that be like, even now with Jake, but this shit is left-handed. But in the kingdom, Oh man,
You gonna have
coming
a-
from them godly bodies.
Yeah.
What?
Like you're gonna have a brother just go on a sequence, and it's just like like, but we do it now. We like and it makes sense. He like damn, not like
Making
these,
beats and
yeah,
all,
making
yeah.
beats,
Brothers
you know?
just used to Pro Tools
Right.
and the shit like
Right,
that.
right. You know,
We gonna have live instruments,
Yeah.
human beings, like Moab. Play that shit.
That's why you know on this side we listen to like classical music, we listen to jazz, we listen to country,
That's all Jake.
Yeah, that's all calm stuff, blues and all that, and it actually does it makes you feel better. Yeah. Me personally when I'm studying or I'm working or driving or whatever, I like that calm stuff because especially when you're driving in the city. It's too much bullshit. It's like niggas just try to cut you off. It's like shit that pisses you off. So you listen to calm stuff, it puts you in such a calm mood, you don't even feel like reacting no more. And it saves a lot of headaches and look what the this
Yeah,
shit.
nah, I crashed 2 cars listening to that fucking DMX. And I was drinking. Now I mean that's the opposite of what he's saying. Like I had my Durango and shit a few years back. It was funny. I got on the Parkway, shit out in Jersey, shit empty. I'm chilling, but I'm nice. I got a little something in me. Word is on. I'm like, I'm listening to something like calm, like Mos Def, something like Talib Kweli, Tribe Called Quest, some easy shit. Man, I switched to that DMX, man. That shit, look, I was playing, this is for my dog. So, yo, I had turned the shit up. And that I had like a little nice system in there. It was stock, I ain't tweak it, but it was a truck. So it had like, turn that shit up. Then he be barking and shit. My nigga, my nigga. Man, my foot, word is more, my foot just went. Yo, that shit, no. Yo, I'm at like 110. Boom! I'm in the zone. Dog. Then I'm like, oh shit, my exit. I tried to break that shit, then the spirit like, you can make it. I tried to break that shit down, coming off of the bend, that shit slid straight into the guardrail, but the Lord was merciful. But then my whole front end, I wound up getting it fixed and whatever. The Lord had mercy in the whole situation. But when I examined it, I was like, yo, that fucking song. It was that song. Ultimately, it was the Lord probably trying to give me a message about something else when you really dig deep. But on the surface level, like, yo, that fucking song, I was drinking, then I played that song going, then I turned it, when you turn it loud, like some of these songs you hear it like that, but when you hear it in like a club, that shit really put demons on you. Cause that club, that boom, 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 boom. Like you could listen to like twerk music, a chick walking past, oh, I know that. But hearing it at a loud ass frequency, that shit does something to you.
Travis Scott concert. They said that people could not stop gravitating towards him, and that's why they started like getting too close and suffocating and stuff.
You know, there's a picture that the elder Yashwama put up, and it shows the mouth of Moloch. And it's literally a giant head with his mouth open like a doorway, and people go in there, and then next to it is the Travis Scott picture, where his mouth is open and you got people right there. Same thing, same thing, sacrificing people on there. And it makes sense what the elder said, because the louder, because everything is frequency. Your body's affected by frequency. Our bodies are constantly vibrating. You know, when you go into the frequency.
Hey, your voice right now is just a vibration of your larynx and your pharynx, and then
Going
your lips,
through, climbing through, yeah.
Your lips are the one that's forming the words.
Yep. And what's it called? So when you go into like music, say you take water, right? You put like a cup of water there, and if there's a loud sound, maybe somebody's blasting music coming, you'll see it in the water before it gets to you. Because the water will start to shake, ripple, 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 and then the closer the sound is, the more the vibrations in the water are. Because vibrations travel through the earth, they travel through the ground, they travel through everything. Because our bodies are made up of what? Atoms.
Right.
And atoms are constantly moving. That's frequencies and vibrations like that. See, so the louder the music, the more of an impact it has on you. You know, and it can either mess up your frequency or it can, amplify your frequency. So it makes sense, like you were saying, the louder it is, the more it can affect you.
That bass, yeah, especially that bass, them drums, a lot of like that trap music, that drill music, that shit got like a lot of like that, like that rock and roll type shit, and like at a loud pace, man, that shit ain't no good, especially if you intoxicated, because anytime you intoxicated or you got something inside of you, demons talk to you easier anyway. We battle demons all day. But when you intoxicated, they more louder in your head. And they more easier to grab control of you. So you in an enclosed environment like a car or something, and you know what I'm saying, you intoxicated, you got that shit blasted. And some people got systems. They'll take like the stock radio out and put like $3,000 system in their shit. So where that shit is even more, then you got the equalizer to where you can play with the treble, the bass, and you could just tweak different instruments to put that. Remember, you intoxicated, and you know what I mean? You bumping this song, you putting that shit on a demonic frequency, not knowing, because the spirits on you, like put the treble on 8, put the bass on 14, put the this on that, and you like, yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. And you turn that shit up. I'm telling you, that's how it happens. You turn that shit up, and that shit had you in the trance. And the demon's like, yo, we gonna use this nigga tonight. You know what I'm saying? But hey, the Lord can have mercy and pull him off, and to have it to where you make it out. You know?
That's crazy because it's vibrations because when you listen to some music, there's a pattern. Right, but then when you backmask it, you hear a different message. So when you put the shit up, you're thinking you'll hear regular words, but your spirit is it's leading straight to your subconscious mind, which is your spirit. And guess what? You're being influenced by it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's it. You turn that shit up, the next thing you know, you in trouble.
You was gonna say something else?
I was just saying that drums are used in war.
Yeah, war
So
drum.
when you use drums, you're getting in a war spirit.
Yeah.
But it's the hype up. So they know that bass is hyping you up, not necessarily for war, but the demonic message behind the music and that vibration that's being pushed out, the drums is just giving that adrenaline.
Yep.
That's that adrenaline. So we like, they got, all right, we got the bass, the crazy ass drums, the adrenaline. You know, and people love, one thing you gotta watch them songs with that like heavy ass, that bass type, like rock and roll, heavy metal.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That shit just
Like you just hear screaming.
Yeah.
You know, like yo, they call it deicide. You know, most of that music is all deicide, which is what the killing of God. Dio meaning God, and side is to kill. You know? Yeah, so they push that shit. It's crazy.
Deicide?
Deicide.
They pronounce it. They pronounce it. I think Dio, right?
Yeah, deicide.
Like Dios mío, Dio.
Yeah, deicide.
Yeah.
You know, and they actually, I was like, damn, I'm going into, I'll bring out a video. You know, it's all through the spirit that's coming out because I actually plan on doing it, but the spirit never really, connected. So through the spirit, we bring it all out. This world is real satanic, man. That's why, again, your shield and your buckler is this truth, man. You gotta get the understanding of it. You can't just read it like the Christians, because guess what? Satan still got power over you. You can read this book all you want. If you don't have the true understanding and the spirit's not working with you, you're gonna be got.
It's a house of Satan.
Yes.
You know, he wants you to go in there. But now let's go back. Let's finish up in Psalms. You know, because guess what? In the kingdom anyway, all this we ain't gonna be having that. You know, it's gonna be pure, fresh. You know, we're not gonna be doing that preservatives and shit. No, we're gonna have everything fresh. You know, and it's gonna be right.
Psalms 149 and 4. For the Lord taketh pleasure in his people.
See, the Lord taketh pleasure in his people, and He's gonna take the most pleasure when His people are right. You know, like when your child does, things that are right according to you, you love your child naturally, but you love them even more. You like, I'm happy I had a child now. You know. Go ahead.
For the Lord taketh pleasure in his people, he will beautify the meek with salvation.
And that's going with the elect. Go ahead.
Let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds.
And the saints are Israelites, and we're going to sing aloud upon our beds. Go ahead.
Let the high praises.
See, in Micah it tells you that the Esau devises iniquity upon his bed. But when we're in our rulership, we're going to be what? We're going to be what? Read that part again.
Let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds.
Because we're not going to need to devise iniquity for anything. You know? We're going to be singing aloud upon our beds, aloud upon our beds. Ain't nobody going to come tell you you're singing too loud, bro. Knocking on your do-do-do, yo, can you turn that down? Yeah. I'll kick you off the planet. What you talking about? Yeah, turn up.
Let the high praises of the Most High be in their mouth.
See, the high praises of the Most High be in their mouth, not that, yo, shoot a nigga, you know what I'm saying, all that Tekashi 6ix9ine, no, I'm giving this, all that extra shit. Nah, we're going to be singing the high praises of the Most High be in our mouth. Go ahead.
And a two-edged sword in their hand.
Yeah, because you gotta remember, like, even in the book of Revelation, the 15th chapter, it tells you what, we sang the song of Moses and the song of the Lamb. Because when we get into the kingdom, to be able to see everything here and like thank the Lord for allowing us to get here, but also just the beauty alone, we're gonna constantly be singing praises. Like, why do you think King David had all those psalms? When you go into it, it's all spiritual. Those are like theological psalms, so to speak. They're all about the Most High and the beauty of the Lord and this. You know, he's telling the heavens and the waters above the heavens to praise the Lord. We're gonna have a reason. Not that we don't now, but in the kingdom, seeing everything around you, you ain't gonna be able to help but to just sing on to the Lord, just to praise the Lord.
Hey, we do that now on a lower level, in our wretched state. Every day we praise the Most High. That's singing praises to the Lord. You know, sometimes the Most High give you a whole week, and it's just bliss. Good things just keep happening. And you don't know how to, you be in the car, it's just great. Yeah, it's just, oh, Father, damn, everything going well. Damn, like I pay my bills, this happened, I got some money from out of nowhere. I'm like, God damn, everything is just going well. You be in the car, just listen to music, and everything just seems perfect. Yeah. And you just don't know what to say. Just thinking about the Most High, thinking the Lord, oh, Father, the water, oh, Father. And you go through moments where you're just going through a whole bunch of bullshit. But even in then, you're still speaking to the Lord.
Father, he delivers you.
Yes.
Yeah,
you know?
The parable of the storm.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
Yep. The storms, you know, they start up, they get real violent, then they calm down. Then they go through a dry period and shit regular, then they start up again. And that's just the life of Jake. But when we get in the kingdom, ain't gonna be no storm. But now, like the Scarface song, he said life is in 3 phases. Either you heading into a storm, you in a storm, or you just came out of a storm. Yeah. And that's the life of Jake. Now, I mean, either you going into, but it is a little dry thing before it start up again. Either you going into some bullshit, you in the middle of it, or you just got out of it and you coasting, but eventually it start back up again. And you just, we men, you just deal with it. You know, it's a balance, you deal with it, and you just have faith in your hour shot, he's going to calm the storm.
Yeah, God, dude, God, yeah. What?
Verse 7, to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people.
And there's a scripture that says, roughly paraphrasing, like, what better thing, is there than for the man to hear, to see the downfall of his enemies? We're going to have control of our enemies. It's not just going to be, oh, they're dead. No, we're above them. We have control over them for all eternity. And nobody can ever make us afraid or come up against us.
We dictate their ways of life.
Yeah. We're going to be gods on earth.
Read that again. That small part.
Verse 7, to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people, to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron, to execute upon them the judgment written.
That's the main, that's what I was looking for, the judgment written. See, and that's something y'all Christians got to answer. Because it said the saints is going, the judgment written. Now, where was the judgment written? For you Christians out there, the vocab Malones and all the Gmail, all you fucking phonies, man. Where is the the execute upon them the judgment written? Answer that. Answer that. You can.
Right.
But the judgment that's written is throughout the scriptures on how Israel will enslave the other nations, man, and get vengeance on those who took advantage of us. And this never happened. Nowhere in history had this prophecy happened. This is a future prophecy. So what's the judgment written? Y'all can't answer that. The only way you can answer that is to say when Israel get vengeance on their enemies.
That means they have to admit the truth.
Exactly. But y'all skip over that.
When it happens in real life, you can't skip it.
Can't skip
You
it.
know?
Not gonna skip it.
Yeah.
I'll read it again. Verse 9.
That was the last.
Yeah, I'll just read it again. To execute upon them the judgment written, this honor have all his saints. Praise ye Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua.
Praise him, call Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. That's what's written, man. Thus saith Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. The words of these books are real, they are spirit, and they are life, and they're going to come to pass. And Baruch Atah Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, that he has given us this truth, the ability to understand and to receive it. You know? So, was there anything else?
Oh, there's a precept.
Well, hold on real quick.
Nah, I was just gonna do a small close.
Okay.
Go ahead.
This is the Brother True Awakening 777. This is Psalms 150 and 6. Let everything that have breath praise the Lord. Praise ye the Lord.
Right. Everything. And you heathens gonna be doing it too. Real soon in the kingdom. And with that, brothers gonna close out. All praises to Yahweh. Ba'Shem Yahushua, Ba'Shem HaKadosh. Hopefully that was edifying to the elect. Until next time. And I wanted to bring out, we approaching the Feast of Dedication, Hanukkah, in that time. So brothers, should be reading into the Maccabees and giving praise to the Lord, because we all in that season. You know what I mean? It ain't just a day the holy day comes, it's a season.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So brothers should be tapping into the Maccabees, man, and reading up how the Lord deliver us and focusing on these times and putting up prayers. You know? So I just want to throw that out there. And with that, shalom.
Shalom.
Come on.